it's special because there's only a couple races there a year.
Who's going to win? At the stripe, it's Horace Willis wins!
For me, being a guy that's won the Indianapolis 500 and being that nobody else has ever won both of them, it's pretty neat to have that opportunity to do it.
To me, it's not about being from Indiana. It's more about the Brickyard itself. Just the history of all the drivers that have walked through the garage area or driven across that yard of bricks is what it means the most to me.
And we are just 27 hours away as we will start at 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on ESPN with the 17th running of the Brickyard 400. And, of course, we'll be on the air at noon with the pre-race show with Countdown. And right now, we're getting ready for qualifying to see who is going to start up front. Let's talk about how it has folded and unfolded over the course of history. 9 different race winners in the 16 years, but only 2 of those have come from the pole. 9 wins from the top 10 starting positions, and the worst start, well, 27th by Jeff Gordon back in 2001. It's a hot day. Let's get caught up on what's happening down trackside. Let's first bring in Jamie Little.
Well, Marty, the qualifying experience at Indianapolis is quite unique. From a schedule perspective, the teams and drivers have to adjust to qualifying on a Saturday rather than a Friday at most tracks, giving them less time to work on their race setup. Another reason, obviously they get 2 laps like at any track, but because of the amount of tape on the front grille, not allowing much air in to cool off that motor, and these stifling hot temperatures right now, the drivers are expected to take just 1 lap and be done. The chances of getting faster on a second lap are slim to none, and this is the plan for our favorites in the field. Dave?
Well, Jamie, yesterday when the heat here was at its very worst and the track temperature was at its very hottest, a horrible time to get fast laps, there were 2 clear standouts, and they were teammates. Let me reveal them. First of all, through this crowd, you see the 1 car, that's Jamie McMurray, Daytona 500 winner. His teammate Juan Pablo Montoya, he was quickest in both mock qualifying sessions yesterday in practice. And if you wonder if either one of them can finish the job and put their car on the pole today, luck is on their side. If you look this direction, they're among the first to go out today when the track conditions are the best at their coolest and most grippy. Dr. Jerry Punch?
47 cars lined up and poised to qualify. Nowhere else does the term the luck of the draw mean more than it does here at Indianapolis on pole days. You heard Dave say yesterday a random drawing. These 47 guys determining who goes out early. Well, the lucky ones drew way down there. You heard about McMurray, Montoya, Johnson, Gordon. They go out in a few minutes when the track is cooler, has more grip and more speed. The unlucky ones, well, how about last year's pole sitter Mark Martin and fan favorite Dale Earnhardt Jr.? They're toward the back of the line. It may be 90 minutes, 2 hours before they go out. And folks, yesterday from 10 a.m. in the morning to 12:30 to 1, the track temperature went up some 30 degrees. The luck of the draw, good for some, bad for others. Marty?
And Doc, you hit the big question that we're all trying to figure out here is how deep do we get in this field, guys, before that track falls off? How many cars do you think have the edge?
I'd like to be in the top 10 if I felt really good about the draw. That sun is going to come up so quickly and that track temperature coming up like we saw on that graphic that it really is going to be hard to have a track condition unless you have a really, really good car to get a lap that you can sit on the pole. I look down to maybe the top 15 and see a few cars, Casey Kane, Jeff Burton, that may have a shot, but I'd really like to have a top 10 spot.
Yeah, I always knew as a driver when my crew didn't come tell me immediately, they knew that 15 was my cutoff and to have that. And then you just have to adjust exactly what the day is about for you. You have to make sure that you say, okay, we're probably not going to get the pole if we're outside of that top 15. So then you start trying to make sure that you get yourself into the top 10 where you can get a good pit stop and have a good starting position.
But, Ray, some of our big guns are in that first 15.
Yeah, specifically the 2 big guns. The Earnhardt Ganassi cars through testing and practice have been the class of the field, had the most speed. Those guys go out early. I think we're going to see our pole sitter come from the top 10 because Gordon and Johnson are also in there. The only guy that could upset that apple cart, like Andy said, is maybe Casey Kane at 14.
Well, you mentioned the magic word. You're talking about speed. How do you make speed here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? For that, let's check in with Tim Brewer at the Craftsman Tech Garage.
Thanks, Marty. First of all, folks, we're going to start off. We got to have some cool water in the engine. But you're going to see the guys walking around with a plug light. And what they're going to do, they're going to examine the spark plugs in each cylinder. But what we're going to try to do is make maximum horsepower. Fuel distribution down in the intake manifold with a cutaway engine right here. What we're trying to do is get maximum fuel and To put a charge in the cylinder, what we're going to do, we're going to advance the ignition timing. That's going to make hotter burning cylinder right here, making maximum horsepower. This is not an impound race. Impound race, you know, you have to pretty much qualify and race what you have. But here, we've got another practice session later this afternoon after qualifying. So we're going to put lightweight motor oil in it, because when the crankshaft and the rods are spinning down here, the lighter viscosity oil you have, the more power you're going to make. At the same time, we're going to heat the oil in the transmission as well as the rear end, because when we go out on that racetrack, the secret to running fast is making that power in the engine, but you got to have really hot oil, cool water, like Jamie said, to put tape on the nose of the car, and that's where you're going to get the speed here in Indianapolis.
And Tim, you mentioned happy hour. That's going to be at 3:30 later today on ESPN2. One guy who's not happy, Tony Stewart. He is happy about going out first, but he only practiced 26 quickest yesterday, got out of the car, and I could tell he just didn't really want to talk about it. Let's talk about our motorsports calendar, because our NASCAR Nationwide Series at O'Reilly Raceway Park will be qualifying today at 5 Eastern, and then the race coverage starts tonight at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Sports Center at the Brickyard will be tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, and then our Sprint Cup coverage, happy hour today, as we mentioned, on ESPN2 at 3:30 Eastern, and then, of course, the Brickyard 400 presented by Golden Corral tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ESPN, with coverage at noon with Countdown kicking off race day. Stay with us. First car getting ready to head out.
Waking up with morning pain can drain the energy right out of you. Fight it with new Bayer AM. It combines extra strength Bayer aspirin to treat pain, plus an alertness aid to help you get off to a running start. Try Bayer AM, the morning pain reliever.
The Craftsman cordless multi-tool. Remodel, regrout, restore, all repowered. Meet the hand tool, rethought. The power and versatility of 6 tools packed into one. More innovation, more great values. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
Someone must take a stand. Release the Kraken. Clash of the Titans. Buy it on Blu-ray and rent it with movies on demand.
If you live for performance, upgrade to Castrol Edge Advanced Synthetic Oil. With 8 times better wear protection than Mobil 1, Castrol Edge. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
Good game. Good game.
Have game time
Good dinner.
and dinner time at the same time. The KFC Fan Feast. Get both original recipe and grilled, plus sides and biscuits.
Can your mom pitch too?
S-O-G-O-O-D good. Coppertone Sport outshines. It protects you from the most damaging rays across 100% of the UVA-UVB spectrum, and the protection stays on better because it's ultra sweat-proof. Coppertone Sport outshines, so you can enjoy the sun.
Wednesday, one of the most celebrated club teams in the world, Manchester United, takes on the MLS All-Stars. The 2010 AT&T MLS All-Star Game, Wednesday on ESPN2.
Hey fans, to find the largest selection of my gear, log on to NASCAR.com Superstore.
NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying is brought to you by Bayer Aspirin. Bayer, expect wonders.
Looking downtown Indianapolis, off in the distance, the White River over to the right there. A hot, humid day in store for us. Maybe not as hot as yesterday, but right now it looks like Tony Stewart's going to fire it up. The man who qualified here 7th last year and has won this race twice, takes to the 2.5-mile famed oval. We heard the reports earlier, guys, about 1 lap, and you better get it done. So when you didn't have a good practice the day before, what did you feel like going into this moment, Dale?
A little apprehensive, but you knew you had to go get the job done. Yeah, I'm sure that Tony and his crew have sat down and come up with a good plan that's going to make him feel good. Going out there knowing that you have the best draw of the day is a big boost, too. So But it's just difficult to crawl in that car first thing. You haven't been in there since yesterday afternoon and try to get it done.
Well, at what point here do you feel like you know what you have?
I always felt like that as I went through 3. I didn't want to hurt the tires too much 3, but through 4, I had to get some speed to make sure, and that's very important for all of these guys to get through turn 4 to carry that speed right here to the start-finish line.
Well, the young man who grew up in Rushville, the Rushville Rocket, on his first lap.
A little free into 1.
He didn't leave anything on the track right there.
Dips 2 below the line, out towards the wall.
We talked about Tony. The 2 years that he's won wasn't his best qualifying efforts, both of them outside the top 10, so it's not something you have to do. But talking to these guys, passing is going to be very, very difficult because these cars are so equal, and they feel like the spoilers even made it more difficult. So they all want to start up front, which obviously isn't possible.
He qualified 22nd back in 05 when he won, and 14th back in 07. To back up what you were saying, here we go, across the stripe. First car, Tony Stewart. We'll get a benchmark and see where we're at.
Yeah, good lap, too. 49.89. That's the fastest lap of the weekend for any car.
And just as many of us anticipated,
yeah, he's just going to take the
let
one
it
lap.
breathe on out.
That was a good lap. I watched his car through turn 3 and off of turn 4, and it looked excellent. You saw just a little wiggle into 1, like maybe they'd made some changes on the car. Maybe wasn't quite sure what he had, but what he had was pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of the guys have told me, too, that on the stickers that the car is a little bit free. It gets better as they get a little bit of time on the tires, but it is initially pretty free.
Would that be a good reason to just go out of the pits hard and try to get the tires in a stable condition?
Yeah, and I think that's what we'll see the majority of the time, and that obviously translates into better speed, too, if you can make that happen through 3 and 4.
And it looks like there is a lot of speed in the track this morning. We were talking before we went on air. We expected to see times lowered by almost a second, somewhere between 0.8 and a second. He's right about 0.9 of a second faster than he was yesterday, so we're going to see some pretty high speeds here in a bit.
As he coasted on in, let's check in with Jamie Little. She's got Jimmy Johnson.
Well, we're talking about these high temperatures, and yesterday didn't seem to be a factor for you guys as far as speed's concerned, Jimmy, but what are you expecting in this qualifying run?
Well, I'm expecting kind of the same from yesterday. I hope to have a great run today. We've got a great draw, so that should help us with the speed that we're looking for. Starting up front here, especially being first and having that first pit box, means a lot here. Very dangerous pit road. Track position is really important. So we're certainly going for it today for a lot of reasons. We'll just see what happens. I mean, this track is so easy to make a mistake on. And yesterday, I made, 10 qualifying runs, and I didn't get one clean lap. I'd have pretty good corners, but there's always one corner I messed up. So today, my goal is to get all 4 right, and it's a lot easier said than done here. It's a very demanding track.
So basically, he's not exactly sure what they have. They didn't get a clean run yesterday, Marty.
They were still pretty stout. He'll go out 9th, as right now our second car on track, Paul Menard, as he's trying to get it into the field for the 4th time here at the Brickyard.
Yeah, he's in the green off of turn 2. Now, like I said, I saw Tony Stewart really make a good 3 and 4. We'll see if Paul can beat him through here. You see now he's losing a little bit of time to Tony Stewart.
Yeah, probably that turn 1 was Tony's worst part. So if anybody's going to kind of get ahead of that time, that's the opportunity to do that. And you see Paul still losing.
Comes down towards the stripe. The tracker shows him slower than Tony Stewart as he crosses the line, and he does fall into the number 2 spot, 50.14 seconds.
See a little water coming out the overflow there. It's because they are running so much tape, and that's about as far as they can go with one lap is about as far as they can go without getting hot.
So that'll mean he'll be on the outside of the front row for now, but that's obviously going to change drastically. Kevin Harvick coming up when we come back to the Brickyard.
Waking up with morning pain can drain the energy right out of you. Fight it with new Bayer AM. It combines extra strength Bayer aspirin to treat pain, plus an alertness aid to help you get off to a running start. Try Bayer AM, the morning pain reliever.
Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest.
Call 800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online to get a degree. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free. And log on now, and Education Connection will send you their free success kit stuffed with information on online schools, scholarships, even degrees that take the least amount of time. This is a $100 value, and it's yours, free.
Log on to myschoolnow.com. That's myschoolnow.com.
Welcome back to the Think Fast Challenge. This is my garage, and these are the contestants. What does the acronym NASCAR stand for? Time's up. How many tools come in the Next Tech 4-piece cordless combo? 4. Correct, but not fast enough. Where was
North Carolina, June 19th, 1949.
Correct. Test your speed and NASCAR knowledge with the Think Fast Challenge. You could win the ultimate Craftsman Garage makeover. Visit ESPN.com, search Craftsman, and watch the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series on ESPN.
Your head weighs about 10 pounds. If you don't get support, you wake feeling worse than when you went to bed. Introducing the all-new Sobakawa Cloud Pillow, a pillow 300 years in the making, based on the traditional Asian buckwheat pillow. The Sobakawa Cloud is filled with over 10 million air beads, a virtual sea of clouds. It does 3 things no other pillow does. Gives adjustable support, cools your head, and never breaks down. We placed eggs on the bottom of these cylinders, filled this cylinder with feathers from an expensive pillow. This 10-pound weight crushes the feathers and smashes the eggs. In this tube, we have stuffing from a fiber pillow, and it offers little resistance. Then we tried memory foam, and the weight wins again. Now watch as the weight hits the air beads. They absorb the shock, and the eggs are safe. Order now and get both the Sobakawa Cloud Pillow and pillowcase for the special TV price of just $19.99.
To order your Sobakawa Cloud Pillow, call 1-800-220-9150. That's 1-800-220-9150. Call now.
It's just something about the place that everybody wants to go to. And there's been so many moments that you've watched, and to be a part of that moment.
Where's the 10th running of the Brickyard 400 of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Get to kneel down and kiss the bricks and be a part of everything. The coolest part about winning Indy is the victory lap after you win. You ride around the track and see all the fans that are true race fans that stick around to see the winner and know the tradition of Indy, and they know that victory lap is going to happen.
Kevin won that 2003 race from the pole position, one of only 2 drivers to do it in the 16 prior runnings of this event, and he is on track now. What a turnaround he has had from last year to this year, and already into the green, guys.
Yeah, he had a good fast lap in practice yesterday. He ran a 50.2 in that practice session, so if he can pick up anywhere near what Tony Stewart did, we're going to see a really good lap here.
Yeah, and this is, Richard Childress has picked up his engine program unbelievably, and this is a place where you can really use that horsepower, and we're starting to see a little bit of that right now.
Yeah, I saw where he turned in right there. Looked a little twitchy.
Yeah, turns 1 and 3, it's so high-speed part of the racetrack, and you have to be extremely careful there. You want to make sure that you get all that you can, but if you drive it just a little too far, that makes you apply a little bit too much brake, and then that gets the car to moving around.
Well, no doubt about this. He is going to take over the #1 spot as he comes across the yard of bricks, 49.66 seconds. So that moves him to the top of the board by 0.2 of a second over Tony Stewart. Let's check in now with Dave Burns. He's with Tony.
And he was the first one on the track today. Ran his fastest lap time of the weekend. You satisfied with that, Tony?
Well, you don't know till we see how everybody else shakes out, but we'll take what it gives us and get ready for tomorrow now.
What were track conditions like for that run?
Slick. Actually, it was a lot slicker than I thought it was going to be. So we'll see how it ends up. It's been a hot week here in Indy. So the good thing is that I don't think we had the perfect draw. I'm not sure we were able to capitalize on it, take advantage of it, but it was definitely the best draw you could ask for.
Yeah, interesting, guys. Perfect draw, and yet still hot and slick here at Indy already.
Thank you, David, as we get ready now for Jeff Gordon.
Hot and slick. I'm not sure
I'm buying
Smoke. I'm not sure I'm buying Smoke's explanation of the racetrack a little. So he may be playing a few games there with you.
You think he wants everybody to think
he knows everybody sitting there watching this.
Didn't look that slick, did he?
No.
Jeff right now, obviously one in the history books with 4 wins here at the Brickyard 400 from illustrious company. The only guy who has 5 wins is when Formula One was racing here, Michael Schumacher. As he comes across the yard bricks, we'll get an early indication as he heads down into turn 1.
Car really looked good through that corner.
Right, when you were getting Jeff ready to qualify here, was there anything in particular, one corner or that he really wanted to make sure that he hit and things you could do?
Well, what you just saw right there was him not overdriving, getting into turn 1 to overheat his tires and mess up the rest of his lap. And that seems to be what he's done right there. He's really smooth and calculating. We'll see. He used to struggle off of getting turn 4. If he gets off of turn 4, he might have a shot at this pole, too.
Real close. You can see he's still in the green slightly.
He just went into the plus side, and that's now back into the negative.
There's your turn 4.
Yeah.
There.
Well, as you can see, he checked up a little bit early.
Yeah.
And didn't overdrive it. Got off there. It's going to be right on the money there.
And I think he's going to do it. And yes, he does.
100th of a second.
49.65 to Harvick's 49.66. So the man we mentioned, the fact that he has won 4 times here at the Brickyard, of course, the inaugural running back in 1994. Followed it up in 1998 with win number 2, 2001 for the trifecta, and then hit the Grand Slam. Final time around in 2004. As we take a look at Jeff as where he stacks up on the all-time win list with 82. And Ray, I want to put you in the spot. How high up does he go here? How many more does he get in his career?
I don't think it's out of the question for Jeff to reach 100 wins and maybe make a run at what David Pearson accomplished. But, let's face it, nobody's ever going to beat what King Richard did. But, Jeff's got a lot of wins left in him, and I believe we're going to see him sitting at the head table before he retires. I think he's got some more championships in him, too.
And as Jeff comes in with his 4 wins and all those others, let's talk to the guy who just picked up his 2nd career win, Jamie.
He did 2 weeks ago, so he's been able to celebrate a little bit longer. So you win a race and you sign up for 2 more years with the team. That's got to feel good coming into this race, David.
Well, I mean, I only heard part of that, but yeah, it was great to have a little bit of time off to celebrate our win, from Chicago. Everybody was able to celebrate it, and it was great. But back here in business as usual. We're able to announce last year yesterday that I'll be back with Michael Waltrip Racing for the next couple of years, as well as having the old Air and Stream machine, being able to drive it. So a lot of good stuff happening. Unloaded, not so good, but we got our work cut out for us. I think to get it a little bit better, I think we'll have a good qualifying run, though.
He told me he's going to hold his breath. It's hard to breathe in qualifying around this place.
Well, for 50 seconds, he could get the swimming team championship if he can hold his breath that long. Right now, Martin Truex is holding his breath. It's below the line, though, as he comes down for lap number 1. Everybody's only done the 1 lap, as we expected. 49.79 seconds. That slides him in to the number 3 spot. So Martin, whose best start here was last year, 13th. His best finish, 12th right now on the inside of row number 2. Let's talk to Kevin Harvick, Doc.
Thank you, Marty. Points leader Kevin Harvick. Kevin, the good news, 49.66. That's about 6 tenths faster at any lap you ran yesterday. The bad news, Jeff just beat you for the front row for the pole. What do you think about your run?
I think it's going to be probably somewhere in the top 15. Probably going to be, I would say the pole's going to be somewhere around 30, but we'll see what happens. We got a good draw, and the car's been running good all weekend, and that's all we need is just a solid qualifying run for us.
What about track conditions here early on? It's not quite as hot as it's going to be.
It doesn't have near as much grip as I thought had anticipated it was going to have. But, it's still a little bit better than it was the other last night, but not as much grip as it normally has in the morning.
Kevin Harvick right now second. He started first back in 2003, Marty, when he won the Brickyard 400.
One of only 2 to win from the pole in 16 races here. Jamie McMurray, we're going to get our benchmark right now, guys. This car was really good both sessions yesterday.
And Jamie's really confident. I talked to him on Thursday when we got here. He feels really good about his team, his car. He feels really good about his chances to win the race. Had a little bounce in his step, and that always helps you getting ready to qualify.
No doubt about that.
His best finish here was his first appearance back in 2003. Started 22nd and finished 3rd. His best qualifying effort was back in 08 when he started 8th.
All these drivers trying to take advantage of this cool track. It was 110 degrees when we started this session. It was 140 plus yesterday when they were making their runs in practice. So you can see that why the speeds are so much higher.
We talked about the significance yesterday for Chip Ganassi.
Well, he really got off of that corner.
Yeah.
You see, it went right in the green as you're coming off. That's what you're looking for. You see that needle going the right way off the corner.
Ganassi trying to win the trifecta of the Daytona 500, the Indy 500, and the Brickyard 400. And right now, Jamie McMurray has put his car on point, 49.51 seconds.
Well, he really made turn 3 and 4 work to his advantage there, and then utilized that speed down the front straightaway to get back around. So, excellent lap.
DJ, are those corners so different? Because they look the same, but you see some guys do really good down in 1 and 2, and some guys do really good down in 3 and 4.
They really are totally different. That turn 1 looks a lot more narrow than what you have over in 3, so you can let the car roll and get a lot of speed.
Well, that's O'Reilly Raceway Park. We told you it's about a 5-minute helicopter flight over to the big track here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And here he is literally coming over for his run. He will be going out 16th. And already we're through number 6 with Jamie McMurray. And coming up next, Juan Pablo Montoya.
Beer and wine and cupcakes. I was doing the corporate grind like everyone else. But to be successful, I knew I had to be different. Ink, 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 ink. I mean, I love that card. It does things differently, too. Great customer service, going above and beyond to help me out as a small business. It's accepted in twice as many places around the world as American Express. And if I ever need to give my employees ink cards, they're free.
Make your mark with ink. Chase what matters. Go to chase.com/ink.
Coppertone Sport outshines. It protects you from the most damaging rays across 100% of the UVA-UVB spectrum, and the protection stays on better because it's ultra sweat-proof. Coppertone Sport outshines, so you can enjoy the sun.
This is 5-Hour Energy. If 5-Hour Energy were a car, it would be this. Fast, exhilarating, taking you from groggy to, oh yeah, in a hurry. This is coffee. If coffee were a car, it would be this. It'll get you where you want to go, eventually.
Hey, Pop. Hey, Steve, want to trade? Nope. Nice car.
5-Hour Energy. What's driving you?
Waking up with morning pain can drain the energy right out of you. Fight it with new Bayer AM. It combines extra strength Bayer aspirin to treat pain, plus an alertness aid to help you get off to a running start. Try Bayer AM, the morning pain reliever.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, call now to get the new talking meter. These new meters are more accurate, they're easier to use, and the best news is you don't have to prick your fingers anymore. Arriva makes it simple. They bill Medicare directly. There are no upfront costs, and they deliver your supplies right to your door for free.
For more information, call 1-800-264-5993.
Wednesday, the MLS All-Star Game gains new significance as one of the most celebrated club teams in the world, Manchester United, comes to Houston to take on the MLS All-Stars. See how U.S. star Landon Donovan and the best in MLS stack up against one of the world's most dominant teams. The 2010 AT&T MLS All-Star Game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, Wednesday at 8:30 on ESPN2.
Well, we've already seen the first bullet from Chip Ganassi's effort. Here comes Juan Pablo Montoya. Came so close to winning this race last year. Started second in last year's race. Led all those laps up until he got the speeding penalty. About 124 of them to be exact.
Well, there we see he runs harder into 1 and 2, where Jamie had lost a little bit. Two completely different styles.
Yeah, he just attacks this racetrack, and I think he's going to win this pole by 2.5 tenths.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the team guys. They were talking about how McMurray was trying to run the same setup, and they were running basically the same setup, but he wasn't able to arc his car in as Montoya said. He just never felt confident enough to do what Montoya's doing, but evidently McMurray's picked up something because he's the man to beat right now.
Chip Ganassi looking on. He knows what's at stake here. He knows this is probably the only shot he's ever going to get at this trifecta. And he is watching intently as here comes his driver, and he's definitely in the green. So right now it's going to be Juan Montoya, Jamie McMurray, 1-2, and Chip, that better make you smile.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard lap to beat for anyone now.
Nice job there, JP. Nice job. I thought you were going to get here. P1.
Well, Kevin Harvick said it would take a 30 to do it. 49.37 seconds. So as he makes his way back to pit road, here comes Brad Keselowski from the landing pad, bolting for the golf cart, heading over to get back into his car for today's qualifying. Let's check in with Jeff Gordon, Dave.
Well, and we're still catching up a little bit with Steve Letarte. Steve, his crew chief, and Jeff, I know had a lot of things they wanted to talk about after that run, and I believe you used a culinary term for the way that you drove that lap. Butchered, I think you said?
Yeah, it was a great lap time, but it wasn't a very good lap. You know, we've had some issues with getting into the entry of the corners, and we tried to make some adjustments to address it, and it just didn't. But the grip level was unbelievable. You know, I just couldn't be real fluid through the corners with the car, and you know, we still brought a pretty good lap. I didn't think we were going to be near as close as we are to the 42 and the 1 right now. So we made some big gains, and it was a great lap. Drew an early number, and we'll take it. We'll see where it ends up with the DuPont Chevy.
All in all, a good day so far for Jeff Gordon.
All right, thank you, David. And let's get into the Brad Keselowski update. There he is jogging. Oh, man. And believe me, in this heat, running over there, then coming back over here, it is going to be a very long day for the guys that are doing double duty, and that includes Busch, Edwards, Keselowski, Menard, Nemechek, and Reed Sorensen. And on track right now is Matt Kenseth. Matt has finished second in this race twice. First back in 2003, then again in 2006.
Yeah, but qualifying has been something he struggled with here, definitely. Only one top 10 start, and that was a 10th place start.
Yeah, this lap probably won't put him in the top 10.
No, it does not. It puts him currently 6th on the board, 49.84 seconds. So they'll go back and try and figure out what they can do in happy hour to get the car more race ready. As you can see, Jack Roush is not all that thrilled with that time either. As getting ready to go out on track right now will be Jimmy Johnson. Of course, he has some favorite moments here at the Brickyard.
I think any kid that likes auto racing knows and thinks and dreams of racing in the Indy 500.
Jimmy Johnson wins the All-State 400 at the Brickyard.
So to go to the Brickyard, not in an Indy car, but to be at the Brickyard, that's my one chance. Yes! So it definitely was a special race for me.
So Jimmy looking to make history and become the first in NASCAR Sprint Cup history to win 3 straight here at the Brickyard. Started on pole back in 08, came up from 16th last year and has the green flag.
Yeah, I really think that Montoya left the door open here. Whoa, a little bit loose right there. Got down on the ripple strips there a little bit. When you do that, it really upsets the car.
I'm amazed he didn't lose any more time. I mean, you see he's a 10th off the Montoya right there, but man, he used the whole racetrack right there, too.
Yeah, he's the best at wheeling these things.
Trying to bring it back as he heads down into turn number 3.
I mean, for as big a wiggles he had in turn 1, I mean, and to still be within a 10th getting into 3, that's pretty stellar.
It's going to come down to turn 4.
He's there. He's right there.
Still on the plus side by 4 100ths. Now 3. He's coming down, and he's coming the home stretch. You heard him say it himself, and it looks like it's going to cost him as he will slide into the number 2 spot, separating Montoya and McMurray. Jimmy Johnson with a time of 49.41 seconds. So as he coasts on out, we'll step aside for just a few moments. A total of 9 drivers have taken times, and the teammates are sharing notes.
So how was the Grand Slam slugger? Sir.
It's okay. He'll be back.
Woo! Yeah! Another Grand Slam, baby! Woo! Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Take on the new Denny's 2468 value menu and visit ESPN.com/Denny's to see how your next meal could be on the house.
Everyone's out to rent The Losers, but it's not in that vending machine yet. Oops. Grab your remote and rent it with Movies on Demand. Stop waiting. Start watching. Rent The Losers now with Movies on Demand.
Good game. Good game.
Have game time
Good dinner.
and dinner time at the same time. The KFC Fan Feast. Get both original recipe and grilled, plus sides and biscuits.
Can your mom pitch too?
S-O-G-O-O-D good.
The Ram 60-day handshake. That 5-finger bond that communicates trust, honor, follow through, and follow up. It's a promise that says go ahead and buy a Ram 1500 or heavy duty without a payment for 60 days. And if it doesn't do everything you ask it to do, bring it back. Ram.
Waking up with morning pain can drain the energy right out of you. Fight it with new Bayer AM. It combines extra strength Bayer aspirin to treat pain, plus an alertness aid to help you get off to a running start. Try Bayer AM, the morning pain reliever.
The Craftsman cordless multi-tool. Remodel, regrout, restore, all repowered. Meet the hand tool, rethought. The power and versatility of 6 tools packed into one. More innovation, more great values. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free.
Log on to myschoolnow.com. That's myschoolnow.com.
Finding free NASCAR merchandise and gear just got easier. Just enter your official NASCAR hologram code at NASCAR.com/hologram for a chance to score free gear and great offers, or a VIP experience that puts you right next to the action.
Back here at qualifying for the 17th running of the Brickyard 400. Our race will be at 1 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN with countdown starting at 12 noon. And David Reagan on his first lap. No one has taken the second lap option and already slipping through turn 2 into the red.
And you can say a lot of that started. Apparently, David didn't get through turn 4 coming to get the green quite as good as you need to, because his time was off right from the very beginning.
Well, it's going even further south right now. He's almost a half a second behind.
Well, let's be fair. I mean, that's a lap that Montoya put down we're comparing to, and that's a pretty fast lap.
He is actually faster than the pole position last year. David struggled pretty good through practice. Really wasn't able to muster up enough speed yesterday, so they've got some work to do on that race car.
Well, his best start was 16th back in 2008. Not sure this is going to get him the 16th spot by the time it's over. 50.30 seconds currently puts him 10th out of 10 cars. Let's check in now with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Bit of a trend down here, Marty. The Hendrick guys are 2nd and 4th. The Ganassi guys 1st and 3rd right now. Let's talk to Jamie McMurray. Jamie, you ran a 51, yet on your cool-down lap, you weren't real happy with the run. Why?
Well, we made a couple of changes to our car. I really felt like our air pressure was a little bit off yesterday, and so we adjusted on that today, and the car just didn't come in quick enough. I really felt good in 3 and 4 on my time lap, but I just couldn't get through 1 and 2 that first lap. And typically when I say that, when I look at the lap tracker you guys produce, I always am better in the corner that I feel worse in. But our Bass Pro Shop Chevy has been pretty good, and Juan obviously had a really solid lap. So we'll just we've got good cars for the race, and hopefully we can have a mistake-free day and get to the end.
All right, big day. Let's go over here and talk to the bosses. Came by, gave you a slap on the back there. Chip Ganassi, Juan Pablo Montoya over here talking to Jimmy Johnson about his lap and doing a little hand signaling to Jimmy on the lap that Jimmy ran. Right now they are 1st and 2nd. And Juan Pablo, a great effort here for Chip Ganassi Racing, 1st and 3rd. You think your time will hold up?
I hope so. You know, it's up there. I think it'll be probably a top 3 start, worst case scenario. You know, this Target Chevy's been amazing. I think both of the Ganassi cars have been really good, and it's nice. You know, right now we're 1st and 3rd, and I think the biggest threat was 48, and he's right there.
You know, you have made history here before for Chip Ganassi, winning the Indy 500 as a rookie. How important is it for you and Jamie, one of you guys, to make history for Chip here by picking up this win along with the Daytona 500 and the Indy 500 in the same year?
We'll see. You know, it's still a long way to go. You know, we just still Saturday. We still got to run tomorrow. I think we just got to be smart and see what happens, give ourselves a chance to try to win this.
What were you and Jimmy talking about?
Just talking about the laps.
Okay, Juan Pablo Montoya right now on the pole, and on the outside front row is Superman, the defending and three-time Brickyard 400 champion, Jimmy Johnson.
All right, Doc, as you finish up, we're watching David Rudiman as he is in the red right now. Winner just a couple of weeks ago at Chicago. Down into 3.
These guys struggled a lot with their car yesterday, trying to get the handling and to fit what David was looking for in the car, and they just seemed to be having a difficult time with the entry. So when you can't get that entry and carry speed in there, it's going to make it difficult to get the lap you're looking for.
Well, he had his best of 3 Brickyard 400 performances last year. He started 5th, finished 8th, and right now he's 11th out of 11 cars, 50.31. And now I've got to start asking guys, we talked about where the track was going to start falling off with heat, and the last 2 guys have been the 2 slowest.
Yeah, I think Andy brought it up. You said, you wanted to be in that top 10, and we're just outside of that now.
Yeah, and I don't see any cars really down past these cars that are going to challenge. I heard Montoya say that he felt like it'd be a top 3 start. I don't see anybody that can beat that lap that he put down.
Well, Jamie Little's with one man who has a bit of pressure on his shoulders. Jamie?
Well, he loved this place in an open-wheel car, won the 2006 Indy 500, but yesterday you said you were scared getting into the corner. Is that any better, Sam?
Not so much. We've been working real hard on the Mobile 1 Dodge, trying to make it better, but it's been a difficult weekend for us so far, so hopefully we figured some things out for qualifying here, and we've got 2 more practices after this, so we're going to work hard at it, trying to make sure that the car is right. But I think if we can get the car settled down on entry, it's going to take care of a lot of our problems. So keep our fingers crossed, keep working hard at it.
On the personal front, you have some good news to announce.
Yeah, we got our second little girl, or maybe a little boy. We don't know yet, but I keep thinking it's a little girl. I have so much fun with Addie. She's been a great addition to our lives and makes everything a lot more fun. And being a guy, you always want a little boy, but you have a little girl and you're like, wow, she does everything that you could do with a little boy and then some. She likes everything from trains to princesses, so that's always a lot of fun.
Congratulations, Sam. Marty?
And when Sam won that 2006 race, he only led 19 laps, started on point. And as we mentioned, the temperature going up, and it's starting to have an effect. It's climbed 6 degrees on the track. And crew chief Ray, give me an idea. How much does that affect your car?
Well, Marty, it doesn't sound like a lot, but here this place is so big, and you've only got to lose a little bit of grip. As it makes that track just a little bit slicker, it makes that car want to slide all that more. And if you miss your line here, DJ, you can tell, if you miss your line here by 6 or 12 inches, it'll cost you 1 or 2 tenths of a second.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Ray. Just 6 inches, and that doesn't sound like much, and it's not. But if you miss it that much in trying to make this fastest lap you can put down, then you're going to be out to lunch then. And as you said, just as you said, as it heats up, it becomes even a smaller window.
Robbie Gordon, who's finished 6th, his best here back in 2003 in the Brickyard 400. He's also raced the Indianapolis 500. Right now, he's currently 9th at 49.95 seconds. So looks like the heat is beginning to have its effect, as right now our pole sitter is Juan Pablo Montoya. And coming up, we'll have Casey Kane, Jeff Burton, Brad Keselowski. And there is Jeff Gordon shaking hands with his teammates as they are right now in the 2 and 4 slots.
In today's cars, there's self-adjusting cylinders, self-deploying spoilers. Why not a self-cleaning engine? Next generation Pennzoil motor oil cleans out up to 40% of sludge. So turn your engine into a self-cleaning engine and feel the clean.
Coppertone Sport outshines. It protects you from the most damaging rays across 100% of the UVA-UVB spectrum, and the protection stays on better because it's ultra sweat-proof. Coppertone Sport outshines so you can enjoy the sun.
Give yourself an edge. New One-A-Day Men's Pro Edge. A complete multivitamin with more magnesium to help support healthy muscle function. More B vitamins to help convert food to fuel. More confidence in a healthy you. New One-A-Day Men's Pro Edge.
Inventors. InventHelp can help you try to patent your idea and submit it to companies. Call 1-800-232-4033 for free information. That's 1-800-232-4033.
Colin Brown's on the pole. Colin Brown drives the number 16. 2 poles and only 7 starts. That was a surprisingly low water bill. Is that his mail?
The NASCAR Nationwide Series. Get into it.
On this day before my daughter's wedding, I'd like to propose a toast to Steve Wallace, a rising star who has 16 top 10 finishes in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
Sit down, Dad.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series. Get into it. Wednesday, the MLS All-Star Game gains new significance as one of the most celebrated club teams in the world, Manchester United, comes to Houston to take on the MLS All-Stars. See how U.S. star Landon Donovan and the best in MLS stack up against one of the world's most dominant teams. The 2010 AT&T MLS All-Star Game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, Wednesday at 8:30 on ESPN2.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, call now for a new pain-free meter. These new meters are more accurate, they're easier to use, and the best news is you don't have to prick your fingers anymore. Call now, and Arriva Medical will send you one of these new meters for free. And if you have Medicare, your testing supplies may also be covered. Arriva makes it simple. They bill Medicare directly. There are no upfront costs. And they deliver your supplies right to your door for free. With these new meters, there's no coding, you don't have to prick your fingers, and some of these meters even talk.
Your blood glucose reading is 122.
Call 1-800-280-8679 and we'll send you a free Betty Crocker Diabetes Cookbook filled with delicious recipes. Call 1-800-280-8679.
Call Arriva today. You'd be glad you did.
Brad Keselowski, who was fastest in practice over at O'Reilly Raceway Park. And, of course, that race is tonight at 7:30 on ESPN. And Vince Welch will have all the action with the crew over there. And Brad made it with plenty of time to spare. He's still got a few cars still to go. He's fourth in line. There he is, making his way over to the number 12. Out on track right now is Landon Castle. This young man in the Tax Slayer Chevrolet still trying to make a name for himself. When he first burst onto the scene in the Nationwide Series, everybody had some high hopes, and then, like so many, got a little bit derailed.
Yeah, but he's got a ride here in a pretty good car. He's done a lot of testing in these Cup cars when they were in the development stages. So he's got a lot of seat time, not a lot of racing experience in the Cup Series, but he has got a lot of seat time in these cars.
Kevin Buckler is team owner, and right now tracking by just a tenth of a second into the red. So
it's a good lap so far.
I think he has a lot of talent. I think he was just another one of those young drivers getting an opportunity. Very young. We expect so much from him. And if they don't go out and win, then they kind of get shuffled back and out of the system for a little while. But he has a lot of talent. Good lap going.
This will be his third Sprint Cup Series start. Back in June, he ran Michigan, started 35th, finished 38th there in Chicago, finished 39th. Dan Stillman looking on as he comes across the stripe. Lost a little bit more through 3 and 4, but good enough for the number 9 slot out of the 13 cars that have taken times at 49.94 seconds. Let's talk to Jimmy Johnson while we've got a chance. Dave Burns.
Well, Marty, I got to ask him first. It seems like everyone is discussing their qualifying laps here more so maybe than anywhere else. Is that just me, or are you guys really talking about what happened out there?
Yeah, everybody seems to wonder, what kind of lap you had and where you stack up. I mean, this qualifying session means a lot to people, not only for the track position in the pit stall, but just, Indy. Everybody wants to run well here. And Juan and Jamie and Jeff Gordon came by, and we all compared our laps. And I can also say from a driver's standpoint, this is one of the more demanding tracks that we run on. Even though 1 and 3 look the same and then 2 and 4 look the same, they all have little differences to get it right. And we've all shared the same story that yesterday, none of us could get all 4 turns correct. And I felt like I got all 4 of mine right today. So I'm very, very happy with that I ran a tidy lap. And some of the other guys aren't so happy with their tidiness around those corners.
So apparently Juan ran a perfect lap as well. What was missing here?
Well, Juan, on top of things, said he messed up too. So I guess he would have been faster yet. But, you know, it's just so tough to get it right here. And when you lead onto those long straightaways, a small mistake in 2 onto nearly a mile-long straightaway compounds and turns into 3 or 4 tenths in some cases.
All right, thanks for the time. Good luck the rest of the weekend. Jimmie Johnson still second, guys.
Yeah, and what I want to know from Dale is how much of that is disinformation?
Yeah, you never know about these guys exactly, but I do say one thing that you can be assured of, you have twice as many opportunities with the layout of this racetrack to make a mistake. Obviously, it translates into, if you can hit all of those marks, then you're going to be up towards the top. But yeah, I don't know if I were sitting back watching and listening to these guys, how much information I would take from it.
There was Brad Kay climbing into his machine. Carl Edwards, he'll be coming up a little bit later. And right now, Casey Kane on track right now. Of course, Brad and Carl will have their first meeting race-wise tonight over at O'Reilly Raceway Park. I think we're all going to be watching.
I'm going to be tuned in. Yeah.
All right, Casey comes across the stripe, and he'll be in the 11th spot, 50.05 seconds. Does that surprise you?
Very good. Yeah, it does surprise me a little bit. I thought he would be faster. I didn't think he would have a shot at the pole, but I really expected to see him in the 49-second bracket.
Yeah, I did too, Andy. I thought he'd be the last guy we'd see for a while that might have had a shot at cracking that top 3 or 4 positions.
So maybe what you guys are saying is the heat is even more oppressive and punishing than we anticipated.
You pay a bigger price for a little bit of a slide now.
There you go. Round the bases with us on ESPN Sunday and Monday night. First, Albert Pujols and the Cardinals take on division rival Chicago. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Then on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball, 7 Eastern, Triple Crown contender Miguel Cabrera leads the Tigers against Evan Longoria and the Rays. Both games are available on ESPN3.com. What a beautiful view looking down on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the golf course, the 4 holes that are inside the track over to the right there, and the MotoGP course where that segment to the left there through turn 1, a couple of guys missed it yesterday. They were driving there thinking that was the way back onto the track. Jeff Burton now out on course. Jeff holds the distinction of being one of the guys who has run in all 16 prior, but also the only man to be running at the end of all 16 Brickyard 400s. Right now, that doesn't matter to him. He wants that lap tracker to get into the green, and it's so close.
Well, I'm telling you, it's a good lap. We talked about the track temp going up, and it's not an ideal racetrack, and that is a really good lap so far.
Yeah, we know over the past that this isn't this team's strength in qualifying, but they know how important it is, and I still think that this is a team you're going to have to watch out for when the chase rolls around.
He sat on pole back in 2006. You saw him wiggle getting into 4. It cost him as the lap tracker starts heading south as he comes down the front straightaway.
Still a great lap right there, 49.68.
That'll put him in the number 6 position, 49.68 seconds. So Brad Keselowski now, engine fires, as he'll be making his qualifying run to get into this year's running of the Brickyard 400. This is video from just the first practice. He was 22.89 seconds over on that 5/8 mile. That translates to 107.8 miles an hour. And as he rolls out now onto the track, he'll be, of course, going head-to-head with Carl Edwards tonight at 7:30 on ESPN. In fact, Jamie Little is caught up with the man he's going to go door-to-door.
Well, both of these drivers have one busy schedule today. Carl, you didn't go to that first practice that we saw Brad go to. What is your plan after qualifying today?
My plan is to drive over there to ORP. We've got Eric Darnell helping us out over there. And I was just telling you, that's one of the greatest racetracks in the country. It's so much fun to go race there. So we'll qualify this Aflac Ford Fusion, jump in the car, drive over there, practice a little bit, come back here, practice, then helicopter over and qualify, and hopefully have a great race, man. The last couple of years have been so much fun at ORP, and hopefully we can go there and get another win. That'd be cool.
It'll be a good show tonight. Good luck in qualifying. Brad Keselowski takes the green, Marty.
His first Brickyard 400. He finished 18th back at Chicago just a couple of weeks ago. That was his best finish in the last 7 races.
I talked to Brad in the garage yesterday after happy hour, and wasn't very happy with his car. Said he had practiced. They had a test session up here for Goodyear, and said he felt really good about his car in that test, but just didn't know where the speed was. Said he needed to pick up about 3/4 of a second to feel like he was going to have any threat here. But this is a good lap so far.
Yeah,
a lot better than practice.
Yeah, if he hasn't used up all of his tires to this point, I think he'd be pleasantly surprised with this, but you can see losing a little bit of time right now.
But when you say losing the tires, is that a product of the temperature that we're seeing going up? It's putting a little bit extra heat in the tires, and they just don't have the grip. The same guys that went out early, because as the tire gets hotter, it loses grip.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Ray. But a good run there, 7th for Brad.
It does. Puts him in that number 7 spot with a 49.7 second lap.
Yeah, yesterday he struggled to break 50 and be into the 50-second bracket, and now he's down in the 49. So he's got to be happy.
Yeah, biggest pickup. That's over a second, about 1.2 seconds there as their pickup. So good changes they made.
Sam Hornish, as he makes his way out onto the 2.5-mile oval here at Indianapolis, of course, he too has a favorite Indy moment.
My favorite moment on track is winning there in 2006.
Hornish closing one more time. Coming out of 4. It's a drag race. Marco Andretti. Hornish, who's going to win? At the stripe, it's Hornish. Oh, Hornish wins. Hornish wins.
Second closest finish in the history of the Indianapolis 500. And right now, Sam read yesterday where he's still not sure about what's going to happen with this program next year. Made it clear he wants to stay in NASCAR.
Well, we'd like to see him be able to stay, too. I think we've seen marked improvement in his ability to race these cars.
He's made a major commitment to this series, and Roger's made the same commitment to him, and I'd like to see it through. If they keep going on the rate they're going, they're going to be there sooner than later.
He's got a good lap going here, guys.
Yes, he does.
For somebody that was struggling to get to the corner, he talked about it's kind of scary for him. He attacked that first corner pretty good.
Lost a little bit of speed coming off there, DJ, and it seems to really hurt him on the backstretch when you don't get off that corner.
Yeah, that's just 2 and 4 just so important because you have those long straightaways, and that's where you can really make your speed. Or lose it in this case.
Sam's best qualifying effort was last year where he was 15th. He finished 21st back in 08. And this will be his 3rd attempt here at the Brickyard 400. And the lap tracker still going south, which is not what he or Roger Penske and the team wanted to see. But he crosses the stripe. He'll slide into the number 14 spot out of the 17 cars that have taken times here today. While he brings it on out, I'm looking at the charts right now, guys. 4 of the 6 drivers in the top spots, Earnhardt Childress Racing engines. We talked about horsepower. Looks like they've got some.
Really shows up at this track. I heard Ray talking about it too, but everything shows up here. I mean, a better handling car will show up in lap time. The straightaways are so long that you've got to have the best power that you can make to be competitive. And we just see, with the same thing you're talking about there, the Fords are just not showing that well. Yeah. Matt Kenseth is the fastest of the Fords.
And the other 2 in that top 6 are Hendrick. And we know that they produce a lot of power, so you're exactly right, Marty.
Well, we've got a chance here for a Ford as Carl Edwards is now out. But again, the heat is up, and I don't know if it's realistic to even think that he has a chance at shooting for the pole.
I spoke with Doug Yates a little bit yesterday about the new Ford engine, and he said, they're still developing things there, going through some growing pains with it, what they can and can't do exactly. And so anytime that you're doing that, it probably keeps you from getting to that maximum horsepower level because if you are still having some parts and pieces that you're not 100% sure about.
Well, the one thing I spoke with Doug too, and the one thing he was happy about with the new Ford engine is that it can run a little bit more tape because it does run cooler, which is a big factor here. The more tape they can run on the front of that car for tomorrow's race, the better off they'll be. So that could be a plus for the new Ford engine.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm surprised. Look at the lap tracker.
He's tracking 2nd so far.
I mean, this is amazing.
Losing some time off of that corner, though.
Practiced 14th yesterday, and as we've seen in a few others, getting through 3 and 4, Dale, just not working.
Yeah, and this could be a product that Ray's talking about, the track heating up. They could be pumping up that air pressure a little bit, and you might get a little bit over that edge, but still a pretty good lap for Carl.
He'll come in across the line 11th right now out of the 18 cars. 49.93 seconds. It translates to 180 and change. So the man who finished 2nd here back in 2008 looks to be probably somewhere, hopefully in the top 17 by the time this is all over. So Carl will be making his way over to O'Reilly Raceway Park after his qualifying run here. And, of course, we'll have that race tonight, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Brad Keselowski's back in the garage already. Going to be a fun race over there.
I got into one of the best schools in the country! I got into one of the most expensive schools in the country.
When stress gives you heartburn with headache, Alka-Seltzer gives you relief fast. Plop, plop. Fizz, fizz.
This is a special announcement for anyone in America currently faced with overwhelming financial pressures due to back taxes owed to the IRS or the state.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or other state agencies, tax resolution programs are now available that may help you deal with these problems and get your life back on track.
If you currently owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, if you're receiving collection letters from the IRS or a state tax agency, if you're being threatened with wage garnishment or a bank levy, or if you need to file years of late returns, well, time is not on your side. Take the first step toward resolution of these problems today by calling the Tax Relief Helpline now.
This is the perfect time to build a plan that can get your life back on track. So make the call to the Tax Relief Helpline now. The call is toll-free from anywhere in the United States. Don't wait. Call now.
Inventors. InventHelp can help you try to patent your idea and submit it to companies. Call 1-800-232-4033 for free information. That's 1-800-232-4033.
Attention computer shoppers with past credit problems. If you've had past credit problems and want to make a change, call now. All you need is an active checking account and you're approved for our program. Bankruptcy, liens, divorce, or job loss, it doesn't matter. You're approved. We'll get you that new computer you always wanted and report on your credit so you can start to get it back on track. Call now and with your paid order, we'll add a free color printer, free MP3 music player, and a free LCD TV. You heard right. Free printer, free MP3 player, and a free LCD TV. Call now and tell us where you want your brand new computer and free gift shipped today.
Shaun White is a total enigma. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I have seen what he's planning for the X Games this year. Just like he did for that double McTwist. He's been practicing nonstop for like months in order to pull off some new mind-blowing trick.
Whatever it is, it's going to completely raise the bar. It's like even the bar will be afraid to look down.
Nobody sees X before it happens at X. X Games 16 starts Thursday at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Finding free NASCAR merchandise and gear just got easier. Just enter your official NASCAR hologram code at NASCAR.com/hologram for a chance to score free gear and great offers, or a VIP experience that puts you right next to the action.
Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where our race will be on ESPN tomorrow at 1 Eastern with countdown starting at 12 noon. Out on track right now is Travis Kvapil. I'm looking again at the charts, boys, in the top 6, all Chevrolets. Then Brad Keselowski right now with the first Dodge in 7th. And then you've got your first Toyota with Martin Truex 8th. And Travis is already heading south through turn 1. This will be his 4th Brickyard 400. His best start was last year, 28th. His best finish was 25th back in 2006.
Good thing for Travis is he's locked in here, so he can try to lay down a decent lap here for him today and then get the car race ready this afternoon.
Coming through for the 2003 Truck Series champion. Not going to be real thrilled with this lap. He comes down across the yard of bricks. We'll get his official time, but you can see the clock is still ticking. He's going to be over a second behind the pole. In fact, he is the slowest of the 19 cars now that have taken official times. 50.55 seconds. Doc, let's talk to Jeff Burton, who's 6th right now.
Exactly, Marty. And in spite of it getting a little bit hotter and slicker out there, JB, a 68 you ran. A good lap for you.
Yeah, I think it was a solid lap. Obviously, going earlier would have helped, but there's a lot of people going behind us, so we can't complain. We went out 15th. There's a whole lot more behind us, but car was solid, and I made a little mistake off of 3, and that kind of messed my rhythm up through 4. But I thought we went through 1 and 2 really, really well. But anyway, it's been a good weekend, and feel good about that.
What a difference a year makes for the top 6 right now. Earnhardt Childress Racing Engines. How about the improvement there?
Yeah, the weak point with our program last year wasn't the engines. Our engines were awesome last year. They've gotten better this year. This year, our cars drive so much better, and you can be real aggressive with them and make lap time. So RCR has done a great job of getting us much better equipment, and we got better stuff coming yet. I mean, the guys just working so hard and doing a lot of really, really, really good work. So proud to be part of it. And we were down last year, but it kind of pissed us off.
Hey, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Jeff Burton. Dave?
Hey, Doc, let me start by saying I'm not even going to try to keep up with Brad Keselowski today because ORP earlier, quick time when he left, qualifying here today, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. How you doing?
Great. It's a lot of work, but it's always fun when you have 2 fast race cars. And our Penske Dodge Charger over here on the Cup side ran a good lap. Better than we were in practice, so I'm really encouraged by that. Hopefully we found some things that will carry over to race trim, but we'll see. Gonna keep working on it and see if we can't have a strong run here in both cars. But I didn't even know I was fastest in the Nationwide car, so thanks.
So far, but I think there's a bunch over there, including probably your friend Carl, who will be trying to best you on that. And he said earlier this weekend he's looking forward to going wheel to wheel with you all weekend long. You okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the fun of racing right there.
All right, hopefully it'll be fun for these guys this weekend. Dramatic maybe, but fun for sure. And Brad is on his way, guys.
Yeah, he's on his way, and Marcos is on his way also to a disappointing lap. You see the stripe on the right side of the car. We'll show you what happened. Lap tracker is going to punish him. And Marcos, who's had a tough year so far with 9 finishes of 30th or worse and 7 DNFs. And let's go back and show you exactly what happened.
Yeah, this is just a case of trying to get all that you can. You get back in the throttle hard, but you can see where the color changes, and that just kills your lap right there. Once you get those right side tires in that gray area, there's just no grip there at all.
Get one more look from behind, DJ.
Yeah, you can see he was a little bit high in the center of the corner, but he still tried to keep the power down. You don't want to let up there, and he was just hoping there would be enough grip there to keep him out of the wall.
So really our first true incident of the weekend that we've had as far as anybody making contact enough to have an effect. A couple guys brushed slightly, but nothing that was as severe as this and as punishing as Marcos is now 20th out of 20 cars. Let's talk about the calendar because we've got a lot of action coming up for you. NASCAR Nationwide Series at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Qualifying over there is today at 5 Eastern, and then our race coverage on ESPN starts at 7:30 with Countdown. Sports Center at the Brickyard tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on ESPN. And NASCAR Sprint Cup happy hour today, 3:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Brickyard 400 presented by Golden Corral. Of course, tomorrow at 1 Eastern with our coverage starting at noon with Countdown. So there is Carl Edwards. Had a little break up there for a second. Doc, you want to talk to him?
I can comment on his schedule. Yeah, Carl is actually looking at his schedule. What they're talking to him about here right now is the fact that he's going to drive over to ORP about 7 miles from here and get in the Nationwide car for the final practice session there at 11:45. He's going to come back there and driving back in his own passenger car here for the final Cup practice session. They're going over logistics right now from 2 to 3 o'clock. And then when that is over, he's going to jump in a helicopter with Paul Menard and leave here about 4:45 to be over there for Nationwide Series qualifying, which rolls at 5:10. Not a lot of room to breathe and take your time, but these guys love what they're doing. A very, very busy day for Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski.
Hey, Doc, remind him to stay off I-465 because they got construction and they're getting speeding tickets left and right over there.
A little local knowledge, huh, Marty?
Revenue sharing time, their revenue, your share. Okay. Let's talk about Scott Speed because, again, we see it going through 3 and 4, and all of a sudden the car just slides.
Yeah, big slide right there. And, again, temperature going up, and when you're forcing the issue, it just seems when those tires break loose, it really kills them.
Yeah, you saw Marcus Ambrose pushing it, and, you know, that's the thing. They don't want to let up. If you let up coming off the corner, you lose a ton of time, probably as much as you do if you hit the wall. So, like I said, they're just hoping that the track will hold it, and with the track temp going up, it's just not happening.
Well, Scott started 26th last year in the Brickyard 400, finished 31st, and right now he is 19th out of 21 that have taken times. Take a look at track temperature. Oh, mercy. It's now up to 120 degrees.
You can see just the angle of the sun changing that. The air temp is exactly the same as when we started, but that track temp just keeps climbing, and as it gets higher and higher, that rate of gain will actually even be more. So we'll see probably upwards of 140 degrees track temp when we're done.
Yeah, and you have to, as a driver right now, you have to understand you didn't get the best draw. The best thing they can do, especially into 1 and 3 right now, especially into turn 1 in particular, because it's a little tighter corner, is just to roll out of the throttle a little bit sooner, and then you can pick the throttle up, but you're still in that good part of the racetrack. You might lose a tenth, but it's better than losing a half a second or 7 or 8 tenths.
Some of the guys still waiting in line. A.J. Allmendinger, Elliott Sadler out on track right now. Elliott, his best start, of course, was when he won the pole back in 2005. And his best finish was 3rd back in 04. But as we've pointed out, he's not going to be back in this car next year looking for a ride. Actually ran a nationwide race, and you were pointing out how you had to do that to try and prove to people you could still do this.
Sometimes you have to do that. Elliott really likes this racetrack. I hope he can get in a good lap here. At that time in 04, he probably had a faster car. I got by him on a little longer run, and on the restart, we had a late caution. He could have really got up on Jeff and given him some problems. My car wasn't as good on the restart, but I wasn't going to give him that back just to see if that could happen. So he had a great run that year.
Who's your buddy? Who's your pal?
That's right, yeah.
Here we go again. As we see the slide through 3 and 4, it just doesn't have the grip down there, and the tracker takes him south.
Yeah, and that end of the racetrack gets more of that sun that Andy's talking about and heats up even more. Your tires have more heat in them when you get there, so everything's working against these guys right now.
And as he comes across the stripe, 17th out of 22 cars now at a time of 50.29 seconds for Elliott Sadler. You know, we talked about the fact that Clint Boyer getting ready to take his shot at qualifying. And Richard Childress Racing, what a difference a year makes. How about Kevin Harvick specifically? At this point last year, he wasn't even a blip on the radar, guys.
Well, they've made a major commitment to getting this performance back, and there it is. You see it. They've done it. And when I hear Jeff Burton, he's talking about even better things coming later in the year. So that's really good news for this team.
Yeah, and when I look at Clint there, that 12th that he's in right now, we talked about how he likes to live there. But you think back to the Daytona race just a few weeks ago, he was leading that race right at the white flag and then got spun going down the back straightaway and cost him a lot of points, or he would be solidly in that top 12.
Yeah, he's only 15 points ahead of 13th right now in the all-important chase.
Based on what we've seen here and times going up and down, Clint, and there's probably 3 or 4 cars coming up that have a legitimate shot of making the top 10. If he picks up about the same and then we deduct some for the sun, he should end up about 7th or 8th, but we'll see.
It should be a real test now to show us what the racetrack is, because he was 4th quick when everybody practiced yesterday. So he's one of the fastest cars, and now we're going to see how good the track is.
Well, he takes the green flag across the yard of bricks, and the man who finished 4th at Chicagoland last time out, matching his best finish of the season, is on it.
I like the way that he approached that first corner there. He did a nice job and kept his car under control, but got a lot of power back to it.
He was listening to you, DJ.
I don't know, not necessarily. He knows way more than I could ever tell him.
Good lap so far now. You see tracking 6 down the backstretch.
All right, watch 3 and 4. This is where it's been tricky.
Gives up a little bit on the entry.
Yeah, but kept his car down and got back to the gas there. This is a really solid lap. Make one more corner here, Clint.
Tell you what, with this heat and these track conditions, this is a great run.
Good effort.
It's not going to be good enough for pole, but I'll tell you, move him into the number 4 spot, and Chevrolet now owns the top 7 positions in qualifying. And he is going to be our in-race reporter tomorrow. So if you want to ask Clint a question, all you got to do is log on to ESPN.com. Your keyword is Ask the Driver. Then tune in tomorrow at the race at 1 Eastern to see if it's your question that DJ asks Clint. Let's talk to his car owner. Doc, you've got Richard Childress.
And he's smiling back here in the garage area. RC, a very impressive run by Clint Boyer in the heat of the day here.
Yeah, I mean, for this time of day, that was really a good lap. The tracks came up 10, 12 degrees. I hadn't noticed in the last few minutes, but it's just creeping up. So that was a real good lap. We're happy.
A year ago when you came here, this whole team was searching for something, just to be able to finish races, building new cars, working in the engine room. What a difference a year makes. What is it that turned this whole program around?
Well, we started down the wrong path last year, and it took a long time last year to get it back right. In the last 7, 8 races, we came around good, and really happy for our ECR engines. I mean, right now, I think we've got 5 in the top 10, and hopefully we just keep building on what we've got, and our cars, all of our guys, the crew chiefs, engineering group, everybody's just done a great job.
A great effort on your whole team so far this year.
I'm happy for them all. You know, these guys work so hard. Even last year, we're not working any harder than we did last year. We're just getting results this year.
Richard Childress, very impressed with the performance of his team. And how about a guy named Penske, who's done so well at this place, his car with Kurt Busch in it on the track.
Roger Penske with 15 Indianapolis 500 victories. Kurt Busch, his best finish here, 5th back in 2001. His best start third. In fact, Dodge swept the first 3 starting spots for the 07 Brickyard 400. The best a manufacturer has performed here in qualifying. That is until right now top 7 Chevrolets. Can he crack that top 7?
Let's give Richard Childress a little more credit in what he gave himself. He said 5 of the top 10 is actually 5 of the top 7 that are have their engines, so that's pretty impressive.
Again, we see that little bit of slide coming out of turn number 4. Kurt coming down to the stripe. Where will he end up? He crosses the yard of bricks, 11th. And a time of 49.88 seconds, 180 and change. Last year's pole sitter, Mark Martin. And there he is. He'll be coming out when we come back. Can he battle the heat? Can we have another Chevy in the top 7?
To stay on top of my game after 50, I switched to a complete multivitamin with more. Only one a day men's 50+ Advantage has ginkgo for memory and concentration, plus support for heart health. That's a great call.
One a day men's.
The Craftsman cordless multi-tool. Remodel, regrout, restore, all repowered. Meet the hand tool, rethought. The power and versatility of 6 tools packed into one. More innovation, more great values. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
What's up? Oh, my feet are killing me. You should get some custom fit orthotics.
Dr. Scholl's Custom Fit Orthotic Center. It recommends the custom fit orthotic that's best for your feet. And foot care scientists are behind it.
You'll get immediate comfort.
And you could save a couple $100. For locations, see drscholls.com.
Wednesday, the MLS All-Star Game gains new significance as one of the most celebrated club teams in the world, Manchester United, comes to Houston to take on the MLS All-Stars. See how U.S. star Landon Donovan and the best in MLS stack up against one of the world's most dominant teams. The 2010 AT&T MLS All-Star Game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, Wednesday at 8:30 on ESPN2.
Have you ever had an idea for an invention or a new product? Bill Schaefer, one of the inventors of Wham-O's new splash wash, did. He came up with an idea while watching his children play one hot summer afternoon. Bill invented a car wash for kids. Ride through it, run through it. InventHelp submitted the splash wash to Wham-O, the makers of childhood favorites like the Frisbee, the hula hoop, the slip and slide. Hi, I'm Clarence McGee, the sales director of InventHelp. If you have an invention that you'd like to try to patent and submit to corporations and want free information that explains how InventHelp may be able to assist you, call now. InventHelp is America's largest invention company with sales offices in over 50 cities nationwide. Call InventHelp today for your free information. Bill Schaefer made a financial gain on the splash wash. However, most inventions are not successful, and Bill's experience is not typical of what inventors can expect.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-635-2004. That's 1-800-635-2004.
The first Brickyard, to see Jeff win that as a kid, it was pretty awesome.
Jeff Gordon is about to write his name in the racing history books. Jeff Gordon, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400.
I remember just being at my house with my mom and dad watching on TV, and it was cool to see.
And I bet you Jeff, who turns 39 in just a few days, August 4th, is really thrilled when he hears somebody like AJ say, hey, it was fun when I was a kid watching Jeff win.
Yeah, Jeff was just a kid when we won that day himself, and he's got a birthday coming up, and I just want to wish him a happy birthday.
In fact, he and Kurt Busch share the same birthday. Right now, AJ out on the track and making his third run here at the Brickyard 400. His best start was back in 08, where he started 26th and cracked the top 10 with a 10th place finish. Right now, the best Ford on track is Matt Kenseth in that 10th position. And so now here he is. Can he crack that top 10?
It's going to be a tall order. You can see him wiggle a little bit down in 1 and 2, and then a little bit wide coming off of turn 2.
Heading down into 3, this is where everybody's been having the most difficulty.
You can see on the miles per hour up there, still over 200 miles an hour down into turn 3.
Not going to be a pole run. He's only got one career pole. That was at Phoenix back in April, but this is still a pretty decent run. Don't know if it's going to make the top 10, though, as he comes down across the yard of bricks, and he falls into the 13th spot.
Does break into the 49-second bracket with that 90.
Well, let's find out what happened to Marcus Ambrose. Dave Burns, you've caught up with him.
Yeah, and his lap definitely did not fall into the top 10 today. How hairy was that lap?
Well, you know, we actually got away with one right there. You know, we pushed up against the fence into one and saved the car. So I'm pleased about that. We qualified 11th here last year. I was trying to lay a lap down. We threw a setup at it last night, not really knowing what we're going to have today, and just didn't quite work out.
Well, the good news is he will be guaranteed into his third Brickyard 400 on Sunday. You're happy about that, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy. We got a chance to run really well here. You know, it's just a shame. You know, you want to start somewhere in the front half of the field if you can, and definitely that's not the way you do it.
All right, Marcus Ambrose, some work to do Sunday, guys.
Yeah, he's right now 25th out of 25 cars that have taken times. The only contact that we've had with the wall today. Hopefully it is the only contact. Speaking of contact, Ryan Newman gave his opinion on the Keselowski-Edwards thing, and he basically said that Brad Keselowski should have contacted the chin of Carl Edwards yesterday.
Hey, ESPN boxing, man. These guys know we've got a boxing ring over at the shop. We'd like to put that on. It'd be a good show.
And I think ultimately, at the end of the day, the drivers have to work this out between themselves. NASCAR can sit them down and do all of that, but, you know, somewhere along the way, Brad and Carl are just going to have to figure this out, that, you know, they're going to have to quit running into each other at some point in time. They're going to race hard, certainly, but, you know, you got to figure it out. If that means physically out in the motorhome lot, then go at it, boys.
I saw you and Jeff Gordon trying to figure it out one time. I didn't want any part of that.
All right,
check this out, guys.
Yeah, let's focus in on this, because right now he is on a very stout run with this heat. Just a breath away from pole.
Man, that's awesome right there.
And this has not been one of his best tracks. In 9 prior runnings, he qualifies well in second. Look at him coming through 3 and 4. His best finish is only top 5, a 4th back in 02, and look at this.
Yeah, really, really solid here.
Again, remember, we're talking about a Chevrolet, and they own the top 7 spots, and they're now going to own the top 8. Newman moves into 4th in the heat. Another stout run.
That's an incredible run for this heat. I mean, it's still got to be 2 or 3 tenths of a second that it's hurting these guys, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would think so, and I think they're going to go back and say, what if we would have had one of those top spots? Now, here's the pole sitter from last year, and he's a fast car in practice, so we'll see what he can do.
And you got to believe that Mark Martin wants to join this elite club of 8 Chevrolets. Boy, he's had some moments here at Indy.
There's a lot of them. One of them was the year that Denny Sutherland did the spin and still won.
Did he make the move? Sullivan down low. Sullivan has the lead. Just at that moment, losing control of the car. It's unbelievable.
So Mark Martin, who can remember the spin and win as a few others of us can he add his name to the list of Chevrolets? Take a look at this. 1st through 8th And 11 Brickyard wins for Chevy, leads all makes, and they also lead in poles with 7. Ford is second with 6, Dodge with 2, and Tony Stewart back in 02 gave Pontiac its one and only pole.
Well, the fastest non-Chevrolet is Brad Keselowski, and he ran a 49.75. Mark can run faster than that. He'll add to that list of Chevys.
Well, this is the same car he ran here last year. Having a little bit of a blip through, too.
Good getting off the corner, though.
About 4 100ths off of pole. Here we go again. Can he make it through 3 and 4?
I saw 204 miles an hour entering turn 3.
Still looking good. Mark Martin down through 4.
Another great lap for the track conditions.
8 100ths, 9 100ths off pole. He comes down to the yard of bricks, and Chevrolet's living life large today, folks. They are now the top 9 spots, and Martin slides into the 3rd spot, and I'm just wondering if he'd have gone out earlier, where would he be right now?
3rd, you're the man, bud. 49.504.
That is amazing. And there's still more Chevys to come. In fact, one of them is that man right there, Dale Earnhardt Jr. And you better believe Junior Nation is hoping he can match the performance of the others.
The Ram 60-day handshake. That 5-finger bond that communicates trust, honor, follow through, and follow up. It's a promise that says go ahead and buy a Ram 1500 without a payment for 60 days. And if it doesn't do everything you ask it to do, bring it back. Ram.
Good game. Good game.
Have game time
Good dinner.
and dinner time at the same time. The KFC Fan Feast. Get both original recipe and grilled, plus sides and biscuits.
Can your mom pitch too?
S-O-G-O-O-D good.
I got into one of the best schools in the country. I got into one of the most expensive schools in the country.
When stress gives you heartburn with headache, Alka-Seltzer gives you relief fast. Plop, plop.
Fizz, fizz.
Buy Clash of the Titans on Blu-ray.
Someone must take a stand.
Includes an alternate ending never seen in theaters.
Release the Kraken.
Clash of the Titans. Combo pack includes Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy.
Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest.
Call 800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online to get a degree. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free. And log on now, and Education Connection will send you their free success kit stuffed with information on online schools, scholarships, even degrees that take the least amount of time. This is a $100 value, and it's yours free.
Log on to myschoolnow.com. That's myschoolnow.com.
So how was the Grand Slam slugger? Sir.
It's okay. He'll be back.
Woo! Yeah! Another Grand Slam, baby! Woo! Yeah! Woohoo!
Take on the new Denny's 2-4-6-8 value menu and visit ESPN.com/Denny's to see how your next meal could be on the house.
Kissing the Bricks, I guess, is the second generation of drinking the milk.
Started by Dale Jarrett. When he won that race, went out and kissed the bricks at the start-finish line. It created a movement that will always be remembered.
And there they are. 3.2 million bricks. They are down underneath the layers of asphalt that have been paved and repaved over this track. And that yard is the most famous yard of bricks in the world. And just to keep you up to date with the travel plans, Brad Kay is getting ready to go back over. There he is. The blade's rotating, and it's going to be one very long day. Brad, you're tall, but you're not that tall, buddy. But I don't blame you for
Don't take
ducking.
any chances.
That's right. Now, if that was Brad Daugherty, we might have a little problem.
His head's pretty hard, though.
Okay. Kevin Conway out on track right now, looking to make his first start, and obviously had problems through 1 and 2, and he is heading south. His first Cup top 15, of course, back at Daytona, where he finished 14th. Right now, though, he's going to be struggling to make the top 20 for the starting field.
Now, he was the slowest car in practice, in final practice yesterday, and actually tracking slower than Marcus Ambrose.
Well, Dale, as he crosses the line, you mentioned it, you've got to learn how to drive this place.
Yeah, and with no testing here, it's a difficult place to come to and try to get the feel for what you need in the short amount of time that you have.
He's 28th out of 28 cars. Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Clint Boyer is sitting right now 6th on the speed charts. And Clint, as good as your lap was, hard to believe that you think you made several mistakes. Where?
Well, I just made, I got a little bit loose into 1 and then went over to 2, tried to make up for it. Everything they tell you not to do, and washed up a little bit and gave up some speed down the back straight. I think I gave up about a 10th, and then I watched Martin and Ryan Newman go out and beat that. So, hey, all in all, that's a good effort. As late as we went out, the Wheaties Fuel Chevrolet is very fast, very proud of the guys, brand new race car, a whole lot of steam under the hood. So all in all, it's a good day for us.
I watched you watch Mark Martin's run. You know how hot and slick that track was. How impressive was that?
I knew that it was there because we had just ran, an upper 50, and then he ran like a 50 flat. So I knew it was there because of the mistake that I made. But he just made a perfect lap, and, hey, that's why he's one of the best.
Indeed he is. Dave Burns.
Well, Doc, I think you'll be glad to hear that. Clint Boyer just said you ran a perfect lap, and you're one of the best. Did you feel like that?
It wasn't perfect, but, boy, it was good. I just got to commend GoDaddy.com and CarQuest team and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. I had such a good race car. It didn't have to be perfect, but it was a good lap. No mistakes, just tried to get a little too much maybe in turn 4 and all. But, I'm just thrilled. The cars are getting more and more like last year every week now, and it's so great to have positive momentum in that direction. And I know how hard that everybody's worked, and I just want to say thanks to all of them and all of my fans for keeping the faith. We're going to get it back.
Mark, very pleased with that lap, guys, and obviously he should be given the heat.
And made it clear yesterday he is staying in the 5 car, despite what you said at your news conference yesterday, Ray.
They asked my opinion. I gave my opinion.
All right, here
Not
comes
based on fact.
Here comes Junior. He's not going to be on the pole, and he's not going to give Chevrolet all top 10 positions, at least not yet. He comes in at the 16th position. He won't be thrilled with that run. 49.92 seconds. And there is our helicopter chasing Brad's helicopter. This
is a good shot.
Maybe we should have this a soap opera, like As the Brad Turns.
Little short trip over there, just a like 5-minute helicopter
Yeah, it is.
ride.
It's hop, skip, and a jump. About 15 minutes by car, unless you get stopped by that cop we were talking about out on I-465. All right, let's check in with Jamie. She's caught up with a man that's yet to go out, Joey Logano.
Yes, he's just 2 away, and Joey had some engine issues yesterday in second practice. You guys were forced to a backup motor. What happened?
Yeah, I think something at the bottom end broke, but we're all right. We'll have to start in the back here again. We did this 2 years now in a row, but that's kind of a bummer. It's probably the worst place for this to happen, but we got some new Toyota motor in this thing. We got some new power, and I think the Home Depot Toyota is pretty good too. So we'll see. We'll qualify for a pit stall, I guess, and go from there.
Absolutely, and he hasn't turned a lap on this motor yet. This will be the first time.
He started there last season due to an engine issue, and he came back to finish 12th, so maybe it's not all bad for him. Whoa. That was awfully close to the wall. The 83 of Reed Sorensen already on his hot lap.
Close is okay. Yeah, it's that contact that makes
Another
the difference.
one there. He was really, really close.
He qualified on pole here back in 2007. And last year he qualified 9th. He's had some good runs here. He finished 5th in 07 and 13th last year. This one's not going to be anywhere close to pole, though.
Well, it's not for a lack of trying.
No.
He is really trying to get everything there is.
As he comes out of 4, he will not even be the top Toyota. Right now, that is Martin Truex in the 11th position. As he comes across the stripe, 27th best. out of the 30 cars that have taken times. And let's show you track temperature again, because, I mean, it continues to go up, and it just makes Mark Martin's run so phenomenal. Here we are. It's up to 125 now.
Yeah, and it's getting, you know, you heard him say tight, and the tighter it gets, the tighter it gets. Once you start sliding that tire, it just puts more and more temperature in it. It just gets worse and worse.
And that's where the horsepower that we see from these Chevrolet engines can really make a difference, because if you can settle yourself down and not know that you have to overdrive the corner to make speed, then that makes a big difference. We see Denny Hamlin coming out on the track.
And Denny, of course, finishing third in 2008 here. And I want to go back to the fact you guys say this track drives a lot like Pocono, and we know how good he is at Pocono.
Yeah, there are similarities, certainly. Especially when you talk about turns 2 and 3 at Pocono, where you don't have a lot of banking, and that's where Denny seems to excel at that racetrack. So you have to think that he has a good opportunity to transfer that knowledge that he has there right here to this racetrack. His crew chief, Mike Ford, knows what it takes to get around here.
He had both those racetracks. You know, Mike Ford worked for me when I was a car owner and won races with Bill Elliott, both at Pocono and at Indianapolis.
All three of these Joe Gibbs cars are going to make qualifying runs back-to-back, and they're going to try to break up this Chevy party at the front.
Yeah, I don't know who was getting their drawing positions there yesterday. They didn't do a good job for Joe Gibbs Racing. Way down the list, 31st, 32nd, and 33rd they go out.
Well, he practiced 18th quickest yesterday in second practice, and right now he could be quick enough, the way the lap tracker is looking right now, to break into that top 9 stranglehold.
You can see he was about 2 miles per hour slower than Mark Martin was going into turn 3.
Sliding off, though. Here we go. It's going to be close. He comes down. Can he crack the top 9 and snap the Chevy dominance as he comes across the stripe? The answer is no. 17th, 49.93 seconds. So again, turn 4 ends up hurting.
Well, Andy, it used to be, you know, the old days you'd get a cloud and be looking for the money cloud. They're not getting it.
No cloud today.
Well, you know, we have countdown starting at 12 noon Eastern tomorrow, and Denny talks very openly about how it has been to try and come back from this ACL injury. Here's just a preview of what you're going to see.
I knew right away it was ACL. The other sports people that do this, they are out for the season. All I kept thinking about is, how does I get myself in this position?
Some people, men and women, they ain't giving up. They're going to lay it on the line. They're going to go after it as hard as they can go after it. And, you know, you're going to have to kill them to get them out of there.
Wednesday, the MLS All-Star Game gains new significance as one of the most celebrated club teams in the world, Manchester United, comes to Houston to take on the MLS All-Stars. See how U.S. star Landon Donovan and the best in MLS stack up against one of the world's most dominant teams. The 2010 AT&T MLS All-Star Game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, Wednesday at 8:30 on ESPN2.
Coppertone Sport outshines. It protects you from the most damaging rays across 100% of the UVA-UVB spectrum, and the protection stays on better because it's ultra sweat-proof. Coppertone Sport outshines, so you can enjoy the sun.
Performance. Upgrade to Castrol Edge Advanced Synthetic Oil. With 8 times better wear protection than Mobil 1, Castrol Edge. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
Our dad used to say, when you work hard for something, protect it.
That's why he got Nationwide Insurance more than 30 years ago.
We're still with them today because no matter what changes in our lives, whether it's starting a business or building a house,
having kids or buying a car,
with an on-your-side review from Nationwide Insurance, we get the coverage we need at the right price for us. Call 866-500-5555 for a quote today.
Well, before we came to Lowe's, we tried another paint to cover our striped living room walls. We were told it would cover easily.
Slight exaggeration.
Huge exaggeration. Thankfully, Samantha here told us about high-def color.
I just told them about our new high-def signature color from Valspar. The built-in primer gives you excellent coverage, plus it's our fastest, most durable paint with superior color accuracy. I'm guessing you don't miss the stripes?
We don't miss the stripes.
Experience. Lowe's. Let's build something together.
Waking up with morning pain can drain the energy right out of you. Fight it with new Bayer AM. It combines extra strength Bayer aspirin to treat pain, plus an alertness aid to help you get off to a running start. Try Bayer AM, the morning pain reliever.
Not the same as leaving it all on the wall.
And our latest installment of All My Brads. We don't know where Doherty is, but we do know where Brad Keselowski is. He's landing over at O'Reilly Raceway Park, and he'll get ready for all the action that's getting ready to happen over there. They've got qualifying at 5 o'clock. You'll see that today, and then, of course, the race at 7:30 Eastern. On ESPN, Vince Welch and the team will have all the action for you. Right now, we've had 31 cars take official times, and there's Brad hopping into the golf cart, making his way back to the garage area over at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Joey Logano out on track. We talked about the fact he started at the rear of the field last season due to an engine problem. And here he is struggling mightily on this lap.
This kid's done a great job for his second year, but tough. Didn't get much practice. I think he only got one lap in that second practice yesterday, and that really had to hurt in preparation for this morning.
Yeah, because he really has no idea what his car may be capable of. He's going to have to start at the rear anyway. The only thing that they could possibly get from this is a pit stall selection.
Well, and it's not going to be a good choice. 29th right now out of the 32 cars that have taken times. So a tough day for Joey so far, but maybe final practice. We'll see that a little bit later today, 3:30 Eastern. And we'll see what happens as they try and adjust for race conditions. A little bit of a triple duty, a double duty, and all kinds of duty for Kyle Busch. He ran last night's truck race, finished second. Right behind Ron Hornaday, and while he warms up in the M&M's number 18 Toyota, let's talk a little baseball because we've got ESPN Sunday and Monday night games. We got the Cardinals taking on the Cubs on Sunday night baseball. That's at 8 Eastern. Then on Monday at 7 Eastern, we've got the Tigers and the Rays. Both those games are also available on ESPN3.com. So Kyle Busch, who's never really qualified that well here in his 5 prior starts, his best qualifying effort was 16th. His best finish was 4th in 07 and then a 7th back in 06.
Kyle was the fastest non-Chevrolet in practice yesterday at 8th, but I just don't know if he's got the draw to make that crack that top 10. But we'll see. Mark Martin surprised us all. If Kyle can pick up just a little bit, he might be able to crack that top 10.
But guys, we talk about how important this race is to set you up for the chase. Last year, he lost 4 spots in the points. He finished 38th in last year's Brickyard 400. It dropped him to 14th. He never made it back into the top 12.
Yeah, this is a huge race. You have a lot of cars that finish on the lead lap. You have to have a really, really solid day. Kyle's got a pretty decent lap going here for the time of day that he's going out.
See right there, the back of the car is bouncing a little bit. And you see how he really chased the back end of the car there through that corner.
Coming down the front straightaway, Kyle Busch, remember, best start of 16th. Where will he shake out right now as he crosses the yard of bricks? 21st. He's not going to be that thrilled. So we'll find out if Kyle can fight his way towards the front and change his fortunes here at the Brickyard. Like we said, 38th last year and 15th in 08. So as he coasted on out, we're getting oh so close to where we're going to be hitting the go or go homers. While we were talking about it, you mentioned the fact the car was bouncing. Let's check in at the Craftsman Tech Garage with Tim Brewer. Tim?
Tell you what, Marty, when you go out to qualify, folks, to get instant speed, what you have to do is come in and jack the air pressure up. Some of these guys put an enormous amount of air pressure in the tires, so it makes the tires really stiff. But when the cars go through the corner, they're actually riding on these stops right here, and watch the deflection right here. That's basically all the movement that the chassis allows the car to do. Everything else is basically bouncing on the sidewalls of these tires right here.
All right, Tim, thanks for the update from the Craftsman Tech Garage. As we come back trackside for Greg Biffle, we'll remind you if you're just tuning in, as we have had a total of 33 cars take qualifying attempts. The top 9 spots are currently held by Chevrolet, and the top Ford is 12th, Matt Kenseth, Greg's teammate.
Talked to Greg a little bit yesterday. Wasn't all that happy with his car after happy hour. Looks good right here, man.
Yeah, got off
a great lap.
good.
Jack Roush looking on intently, and here we go, 3 and 4. He's starting to slide a little bit through 3.
You can see he got out of the throttle a little bit early there to get back to the gas sooner and carry some speed off the corner. Seems to be working pretty good. A little wide right here.
Still carrying the speed off the corner, though. This is going to be a good lap. This might break up the Chevy party at the front.
Come on, baby. Come on.
You can hear the team, and yes, he does. He is the best qualified Ford.
Wow, I hope I didn't miss it.
You didn't.
No, it was a good lap.
7th for Greg Biffle.
Hell yes. Thank you.
There they are at 49.62 seconds. Our pole quite now, Juan Montoya at 49.37. So a great run for the Fusion and the 3M car. And back at ORP, the never-ending adventures of Brad. He's now down to a walk, folks, because he really doesn't have to run right now. Stay with us. We've got a lot more coming. We're getting ready for the go or go homers here at the Brickyard 400.
Coppertone Sport outshines. It protects you from the most damaging rays across 100% of the UVA-UVB spectrum, and the protection stays on better because it's ultra sweat-proof. Coppertone Sport outshines, so you can enjoy the sun.
The Craftsman cordless multi-tool. Remodel, regrout, restore, all repowered. Meet the hand tool, rethought. The power and versatility of 6 tools packed into one. More innovation, more great values. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
Give yourself an edge. New One-A-Day Men's Pro Edge. A complete multivitamin with more magnesium to help support healthy muscle function. More B vitamins to help convert food to fuel. More confidence in a healthy you. New One-A-Day Men's Pro Edge.
To find the largest selection of my gear, you can log on to the NASCAR.com Superstore.
Welcome back to the Think Fast Challenge. This is my garage, and these are the contestants. What does the acronym NASCAR stand for? Time's up. How many tools come in the Next Tech 4-piece cordless combo? 4. Correct, but not fast enough. Where was North Carolina, June 19th, 1949. Correct. Test your speed and NASCAR knowledge with the Think Fast Challenge. You could win the ultimate Craftsman Garage Makeover. Visit ESPN.com, search Craftsman, and watch the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series on ESPN.
Do you want to own a brand new HP, Dell, or other name brand computer and improve your credit at the same time? If so, Tronics Country says you're approved, guaranteed.
I wanted a new computer, but I couldn't get financed. Then I called Tronics Country. They approved me, delivered my new computer, and are reporting on my credit.
If you have an active checking account and can afford low, flexible payments, you're already approved, guaranteed, for this special offer. There's no credit check, so you won't be turned down.
Tronics Country approved me quickly.
I got instant approval, and it was easy.
Our flexible payment plans made it easy on my budget.
And my kids are getting ahead in school.
I've started my own business, and now I'm my own boss.
Call now, and with your paid order, we'll add a free color printer, free MP3 music player, and free LCD TV. You heard right. Free printer, free MP3 player, and free LCD TV. Call now and tell us where you want your brand new computer and free gifts shipped today.
I'm glad I called.
Regan Smith is our 35th car as we get ready to go for the go-or-go homers after Regan goes in. And while we watch his run, let's check in with Dave. I think you've caught up with Dale Jr.
Yep, and he was one of the guys who had to go in the heat of the day. Junior, describe what your lap was like.
I was fine. The track had a lot of grip. Mark just went before me and ran a really good lap. The track was in great shape. I might have underdrove one and overdrove two, and I guess I didn't drive hard enough in the other two corners, 3 and 4. But I think my car was pretty good. I might have just overdrove it a little bit in turn 2. I never got the nose set down into the bottom there. So, but we got a little practice left to work on the race setup, and we feel pretty good about that. We started off real loose yesterday and over-adjusted a little bit, so we want to find a sweet spot and anticipate where the track is Sunday. So we'll see what happens.
All right, 4 top 10s in the last 5 races for Junior. Could be some more success on Sunday, guys.
And as you finish up, so does Regan Smith and the FarmAmerican.com machine as he brings that Chevrolet into the 22nd spot. A great paint job on that car, but not the kind of results that I think Regan was really wanting. But again, like I said, we've got one more practice. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
Well, Bill Elliott has made every Brickyard 400, and you're back here watching all these cars go. Bill, what are you learning?
You can't learn anything here. It's all about just trying to go and give it your best shot. I mean, Lynn and Eddie's give me a good car. You know, Ford, Motorcraft, Quick Lane's all done a great job of supporting this deal. And, you know, now I just got to go out and do my part. But this is a tough racetrack. You know, like a lot of guys says, it's 4 corners, and you got a lot of opportunity to either do good or do bad. We'll just hope for the best.
Must make the field on speed. He did a heck of a job last year, Marty. He qualified 4th.
Yes, he did. And don't be surprised if he does a very good job today. Right now, the pressure's on Casey Mears. Just remember back to 2004, this young man sat on the pole here. His best finish was 1 year later when he came home 6th, and now he's got to stick it in on time.
Looked like he had a little wobble getting in there. Had to work the wheel back and forth. That's got to be pretty unsettling at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, you can see it wiggle again right there. So getting down into the center of the corner is giving him quite a bit of problem so far.
Watch him as he heads into turn number 1. Remember, we have 47 cars. 3 are going to be going home. And already heading south to compared to Montoya's time. Remember back in
Yeah, if you got a car loose end, it's impossible to do anything with it. You got to slow down enough for that, and then after that, then you've killed your corner.
Through 3 and 4, and the line is bottomed out.
Yeah, he's loose everywhere. You see the car wiggling like crazy.
Yeah, you could really see how positive the front end is. He got way down in the center, and the car continued to rotate from that point.
You're always searching for a balance, and if you got the front tires gripping, you know, way more than the rear, you have to slow down for the rear. You can't take advantage of any extra grip you have in the front. See there, it's 34th quick.
So Casey crosses the line at 50.95 seconds.
Now, these guys will be probably taking 2 laps. If you don't get that first one in, you've got to get in the race here. So even though we saw nobody else make 2 laps, he's
I think
slowing
he's
down also.
getting out of it now because he realizes it wasn't any better. So Casey's going to stand on that one as our first of the go-or-go homers go. And let's talk about the calendar because we've got Nationwide Series, O'Reilly Raceway Park, qualifying today at 5 Eastern on ESPN2. And then the race coverage starts tonight at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Our Sports Center at Brickyard, well, it's tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And then Sprint Cup action with happy hour today at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN2. And then the Brickyard 400 presented by Golden Corral tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ESPN. And don't forget, our coverage starts at 12 noon with Countdown. Let's talk to Greg Biffle, Dave Burns.
The highest qualified Ford right now for Mr. Biffle, and I know you'd rather be much better than that, but what did the lap tell you about your car?
Well, I'll tell you what, it told me that we've got a car we can compete with here. I felt good, that ice-cold Coke, but, we weren't that good yesterday, and we needed to get better in this. These guys just working on it. We knew what we did here last year. We qualified up front and ran up front, but we've just been off since we got here, and the car was perfect. That was a perfect lap for us. The engine ran great, lots of power, and I was a little nervous. I've been watching this thing on TV, and I knew going out late the track's hot, and that was a conservative lap for me, so I'm excited. I think this car could have went faster for sure.
Well, so I'm thinking you're going to be kind of excited about more practice today then to put it in race trim and see what it can do, right?
Yeah, I think we just leave it in the garage for the rest of the day. It's running good, and I just don't even know what to say, because I left some on the table out there. They hate me to say that, but I was a little conservative on the throttle in a few corners, and just was nervous about messing it up, and the car handled good.
Yeah, there's not a nick on it right now. And what do you guys think about keeping it in the garage? You think he should go out later?
Well, you just have to go back out to get the race set up, but he's got to feel pretty good about it. He wasn't very happy yesterday after happy hour, and after that run, got to be real happy.
And that run, he said he was too conservative. He didn't get on the throttle. That might be why he had a good lap, because he didn't overdrive it.
Yeah, he did it. He made a good lap. He actually watched Mark Martin, and it looked like Mark was conservative on those entries, and he did about the same thing.
That's a good point, because that's exactly what Dale Jr. was saying. I overdrove the car. Well, you see David Gilliland right now, he's actually quicker than Casey Mears, as he is still on it in his second lap.
Yeah, you see
and
the
now
water
he's
coming out? Yeah, he's done.
He's looking like the Stanley Steamer on the right front side there. And talk about overdriving. Watch the wiggle.
Wow.
Hello. Yikes, man, I'm telling you. Good
yeah,
job
that's
driving.
just trying to get the most out of it right there.
He about got it.
Yes.
Most of it.
So David will be making his fourth 400 start if he can hang on to that cherished spot. Remember, 3 cars are going to be heading home after our qualifying today. Right now out on track is David Stremme. He, too, looking to make his 4th Brickyard 400. And there's his best start of 12th back in 07.
David Stremme, to me, has always been a very solid qualifier. He knows how to get the most out of a car in these type situations. Doesn't seem to really let the pressures of it bother him.
And let me correct myself. I think I said 3 cars going home. It's 4 cars going home. 43 always going to start the race. Bobby Labonte will get in no matter what because of the past champions provisional. But right now, Stremme through 2.
David on good line there. Line looks good.
That gives you a great idea of just how long that straightaway truly is from that aerial view. Down into 3.
Yeah, the anticipation, the time that you have. You can see he got down a little too low right there, though. Those strips that you have down there, you can see they're white. You don't want to get the tires on those. It just upsets the car. It's there to keep us out of the grass.
Heads down across the yard of bricks, and his time 51.06 seconds. That currently is the 3rd slowest of the 3 go-or-go-homers. So we've still got a lot of cars still to go, and over at ORP, well, Carl's 15-minute drive, he made it, he signed in, and they'll get ready to go.
Everyone's out to rent The Losers, but it's not in your mailbox yet. Grab your remote and rent it with Movies on Demand. Stop waiting. Start watching. Thank you. Rent The Losers now with Movies on Demand.
Good game. Good game.
Have game time
Good dinner.
and dinner time at the same time. The KFC Fan Feast. Get both original recipe and grilled, plus sides and biscuits.
Can your mom pitch too?
S-O-G-O-O-D good.
What's up? Oh, my feet are killing me. You should get some custom fit orthotics.
Dr. Scholl's Custom Fit Orthotic Center. It recommends the custom fit orthotic that's best for your feet. And foot care scientists are behind it.
You'll get immediate comfort.
And you could save a couple $100. For locations, see drscholls.com.
All right, so this Tylenol 8-hour lasts 8 hours, but Aleve can last 12 hours. And Aleve was proven to work better on pain than Tylenol 8-hour. So why am I still thinking about this?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Aleve, proven better on pain.
In today's cars, there's self-adjusting cylinders, self-deploying spoilers. Why not a self-cleaning engine? Next generation Pennzoil motor oil cleans out up to 40% of sludge. So turn your engine into a self-cleaning engine and feel the clean.
I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free.
Log on to myschoolnow.com. That's myschoolnow.com.
Wednesday, the MLS All-Star Game gains new significance as one of the most celebrated club teams in the world, Manchester United, comes to Houston to take on the MLS All-Stars. See how U.S. star Landon Donovan and the best in MLS stack up against one of the world's most dominant teams. The 2010 AT&T MLS All-Star Game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, Wednesday at 8:30 on ESPN2.
My truck isn't something you want to see in your rearview mirror.
My truck is a 3,400-pound precision-guided sledgehammer.
I guess you could say my truck likes to take the path less traveled.
My truck never gets claustrophobic in tight spaces.
My truck doesn't haul tools, but hardware, that's a different story.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Tough trucks, tough racing.
It is the Cathedral of Speed, the motor racing capital of the world. It is Indianapolis, and for 100 years, man and machine have challenged this massive monument to motorsports.
103,000 fans attended the largest Super Bowl in history. An attendance record that falls way short of the 250,000 plus that make the Brickyard 400 one of the largest single-day sporting events in the world. The Speedway is so large that it can hold 13 Rose Bowl stadiums. And 2 USS Enterprises can fit in the infield from the front to the back stretch. That infield is so long that it can fit the entire length of the George Washington Bridge. And crossing that bridge, a Sprint Cup car will reach top speeds of over 205 miles per hour. Behold the size, the speed, and the power of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And that's the view from high above, and well, I won't even try and point out where we are. That's how big this place is. Yes, and that is 4 of the holes for the Brickyard Crossing Golf Course inside the racetrack. And it's always fun to come over here the day after the 500 or the 400 and play golf. And it's totally different from loud and everybody full of noise to just a few people. Out on track right now, Dave Blaney. And Blaney has just completed his run and was the best of the go-or-go-homers right now, 50.68 seconds. Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Marty, tomorrow we're going to show people just how hard Denny Hamlin has worked to be able to rehab from that knee injury and surgery. And Denny, how hard did you have to work in this qualifying run?
Quite a bit, especially with our draw. All 3 Gibbs cars to have to qualify 31, 32, and 33 is tough. But you know, the track was hot and we struggled, and we didn't have the fastest car when it came to qualifying anyway. But you know, we're still fairly happy with that run. You know, to put it inside the top 20 at that set time was good for us. But I tell you, we have a new car here, and it's extremely fast in race conditions.
You are so good at Pocono. Our experts, Ray Evernham, Dale Jarrett, and the guys have said that you should be the guy that should be very good at this racetrack. Is there crossover between Pocono and Indy?
Well, the similarities is like it is in turn 3 at Pocono. It's a flat, sweeping, you know, fast corner, similar to, you know, but it's like that all the way around this racetrack. So if you're good in turn 3 at Pocono, you know, more than likely you can drive this track pretty well. And we see the guys with the most experience here obviously running well here.
Hey, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Marty?
And on track now, Doc, the 2002 winner, Bill Elliott. And right now, Lap Tracker looking very good, as remember, he's being compared to Dave Blaney's time.
Yeah, he looks good compared to the go-or-go-homers, but I'm surprised that he's not faster. He's still just tracking 33rd overall. I know the track is very, very hot and slick right now, but he had a really fast lap in practice. He was 9th quick in happy hour.
Well, he's picking it up here out of 4 and heading for the yard of bricks. And he'll be safely ensconced, as he is the fastest of the go-or-go-homers. He's got a green by his name, which means he's locked in. And if we mentioned the fact that he won this race back in 2002, and here was that moment. Anybody want to chime in on this, Ray Evernham?
That was a good day, yeah. And the kiss there, no offense to my wife, but that was one of the most memorable kisses of my life.
I don't think she'll take offense at all. Sweet memories here at the Brickyard, 2002. So that brings us now out to Max Pappas, as Bill Elliott will definitely be around to race tomorrow. Max.
This is one of absolutely the hardest working guys in this sport. He's worked really hard to get himself in the position to have the opportunity to do this. He's been around. He works hard physically. He's out. He networks. And I'm really happy when we see Max have a good run. I know he really, really wants to make this race.
Well, he was one of 3 who failed to make it last year here at the Brickyard. He has run the Indianapolis 500 twice, back in 2002 and in 06. But has yet to make the field for the Brickyard 400. We'll find out if he can do it now. Remember, his time is going to be compared to Dave Blaney on our lap tracker.
He's got a good shot. He was 16th quick overall in practice yesterday, so if he can make a good clean lap, and it looks like he did what you were talking about, DJ. Easy into one, drove off too hard.
Yeah, and my son Jason spots for Max, and he talks about how hard and intense he is in practice sessions in trying to figure out these racetracks and exactly what to do. And just as you were talking about, Ray, there's no one that works harder at this, and it's nice to see when he has some success. You see he did a great job there in 3. Just got one more corner to negotiate, and he's going to be in this race.
Makes a nice solid turn 4.
Comes down the front straightaway, and Max Pappas, the native of Como, Italy, looks like he is going to be in the race. And yes,
we're good. We're good. Good job. All right, we are in the Brickyard 400. Yes.
Well, this should be a good interview for you to talk to him.
I guarantee you there is a huge smile on his face as you see Booty Barker, his crew chief, right there, and they will be celebrating only for a few moments until the next practice session. Let's talk a little baseball. ESPN Sunday and Monday night. First, we've got the Cardinals, Albert Pujols, and they'll take on the division rival Chicago Cubs. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Then on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball, 7 Eastern, Triple Crown contender. It's Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers against Evan Longoria and the Rays. Both games available on ESPN3.com. On the track, Bobby Labonte. Let's go back to his 2000 win, because he, again, one of the 9 guys who have won here. And, what were we saying about Rusty Wallace and
his heart broke right there, too.
Right, yeah.
Looks like a little tire rub, though, on the pass. That was a nice win for Bobby.
Bobby went on to win the championship. One of 8 who have won here that have gone on to win the championship out of 16 races. 8 times the winner has gone on to win the Sprint Cup crown. All right, right now we have him compared to Juan Montoya on pole, and not doing too badly. Certainly good enough to make the field. Remember, he gets in for the past champion.
Doesn't look like he's going to need it if he can. He got a little high right there.
Yeah.
How much it's going to hurt.
Sliding a little further south, but remember, he's only got to be better than about a 50.9.
Actually, better than a 68, he'll lock himself in, and he does.
And he does. So he's at 50.45 seconds. And so as he coasted on out, the guys that are sitting on the hot seat are Blaney, Gilliland, Mears, and Stremme, with still several cars to come.
I got into one of the best schools in the country! I got into one of the most expensive schools in the country!
When stress gives you heartburn with headache, Alka-Seltzer gives you relief fast. Plop, plop. Fizz, fizz.
Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest.
Call 800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
Do you have an idea for an invention or a new product? Bill Schaefer, co-inventor of the Splash Wash, did. He came up with the idea while watching his children play. InventHelp submitted his idea to Whammo, makers of toys like the Frisbee and the hula hoop. Hi, I'm Clarence McGee, the sales director of InventHelp. To find out how we can help you try to submit your idea to companies, call for your free information. Bill Schaefer made a financial gain with his invention. Bill's experience is not typical, and most inventions are not successful.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-635-2004.
Fans, to find the largest selection of my gear, log on to NASCAR.com Superstore.
Shaun White is a total enigma. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I have seen what he's planning for the X Games this year. Just like he did for that double McTwist. He's been practicing nonstop for like months in order to pull off some new mind-blowing trick.
Whatever it is, it's going to completely raise the bar. It's like even the bar will be afraid to look down.
Nobody sees X before it happens at X. X Games 16 starts Thursday at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
John Mapes is 42. Mortgage, married, 2 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. John can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $25 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll search the pick of insurers like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. John's wife, Carrie, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or visit SelectQuote.com.
Call 1-800-207-1810.
Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where we are in the late stages of Brickyard 400 qualifying. We'll see the race tomorrow at 1 Eastern with countdown at noon on ESPN. And front row, Joe Nemechek out on the track right now. And Joe may not be in the front row, but all he wants to do right now is make the show. Time you got to beat is 50.68 seconds to guarantee yourself a spot.
And once again, unfortunately for Joe and his family, they can see that car has no sponsors on it. They spend a lot of time and effort, money to keep this program going.
In his career, he sat on pole 10 times in the Sprint Cup Series, 1992 Nationwide Series champion, but as you pointed out, without cubic dollars, you don't have cubic horsepower.
Yeah, it makes it tough. He's got a pretty solid lap going here right now. Maybe that could change for him. Get this car in. Phone start ringing tonight.
He's got 0.2 of a second in the bank coming through turn 4, guys.
He's tracking to be the fastest go or go home car.
And he's going to make it safe and sound. Joe Nemechek. He'll get into the field as he crosses the stripe. Yes, sir. 50.32 seconds. So it is still Blaney, Gilliland, Mears, and Stremme on the hot seat. And one guy that we definitely want to talk to, Max Pavas. Look at the smile. He's going to be smiling, Dave.
Yep, with Tatiana now. They've gone through the trying to get into the Brickyard a couple of different times. This time you made it, Max.
One time. This is the second attempt. I'm really proud of getting the Geico Toyota in the All-State race. And just great. You know, I feel that a really, really special opportunity for me. Really proud of everything. We were solid like a rock with these guys. You know, definitely, you know, it's not easy to go out there and being outside the top 35, knowing that, you know, if you make a small mistake, you know, you're going to go home. I drove the car exactly like I did in practice, but definitely the track allowed you to go a little harder than what we did. But, you know, we came here with one goal in mind, making the race, and we did it. And now you're going to see the true color of the Geico Toyota coming race time, because I'm excited, man. That thing is fast.
How do you think car owner Bob Germain feels? Do you think he'll have any way to celebrate here, maybe?
Let's put it like this, you know, with the guy that I've done so far, 29 NASCAR starts, we did the Daytona 500, you know, the Brickyard 400, and, you know, it's a great accomplishment for me and my family, and thanks to everyone at Germain Racing, all the guys there at the shop. You guys are awesome, and, you know, for me, I have goosebumps every time I go underneath that gasoline alley, and I know what it means for me, and I'm sure it means the same for everyone out there at the shop. So thank you, guys, and watch out for the 13 car. We're going to be a rocket ship in the race.
Max is in, and it's big, guys.
And right now we're watching Jacques Villeneuve as he is sliding all over this place, but he's hanging on right now to a spot that would put him in this Brickyard 400 field.
He's slipping and sliding, but he's staying on the gas.
He's getting it all done, everything you could get out of the car right now.
1995 Indianapolis 500 winner. He was 2 laps down in that race at one point. Slipping a little bit south. Hang on. He's got to pick it up coming out of 4. He needs about a 1/10 of a second. It's going to be oh so close. He may have to try that second lap as he comes across. He is not guaranteed of being in.
Pretty good lap, though. That's not a bad lap to stand on.
So right now, he is not in the green, not guaranteed, but it has sent David Stremme home, as Stremme will not make the field. You talk about Villeneuve, and there he was with his 95 win. Also Juan Montoya in 2000, Sam Hornish in 2006. And you can see exactly where we shake out for the race as of right now. Out on track right now will be J.J. Yaley as we're down to the last few cars. 3 to go, in fact. J.J. trying to make his 4th Brickyard 400. You see there where his best start was 6th.
Yeah, they're going to have a huge pickup from practice yesterday. They didn't even run the very first practice session, but in that second one, they were still quite a bit. And that's not good. He's going to have to back up and get this lap started again.
Well, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's slowing down as he comes back in to pit road.
He should be doing this. He should stop before.
Really
there we go.
Yeah.
He needs to stop before he goes across the line, or his lap is done.
This isn't going to be good anyway. He's got plenty of heat in those tires and that motor. I mean, if that motor does get too hot now, it's going to just kill the horsepower.
That's Jacques Villeneuve.
I got you now. Now I got you.
The thing cut off. Do I need to roll back around and take my white flag lap, or do I need to back up and figure out why I won't start?
Back up. You got to back up.
You heard the team telling him what he needs to do. Now he gets the car refired.
Now what do I do?
What he really needs to do here is back all the way up. Maybe
back all the way around the middle of the back straightaway?
Up as far as you can.
I'd actually get back about turn 2 or in the middle of the short chute between 1 and 2 to get another go at this.
He's going to have to turn that thing on and off to try and get that motor cooled back down.
He'd be better off turning the car around. You can drive back. You don't have to. You don't have to back all the way around there.
Well, we've just been told they've released another car, and there it is. That's Michael McDowell, and this could get a little dicey if he doesn't stay on that warm-up lane. And now he has turned it around, and
Shut it off. Just come down pit road and shut it off coast.
they're sending him down pit road to coast it on in.
Yeah, now he'll be on the 5-minute clock. They'll treat this like an attempt that they aborted at that time. So his time will not start when he crosses what is the start-finish line coming all the way across pit road. Now if they've sent another car out.
And in the background, you see Michael McDowell trying to make his way down through the front straightaway, takes the green flag, and he'll have his run at qualifying for the Brickyard 400. He started it back in 2008 as one other appearance, started 30th, finished 34th that year.
Whoa. Used up all of turn 1 there.
Now remember, with Jacques Villeneuve being the man on the spot right now at 50.71 seconds, Dave Blaney has now been locked in. So has Labonte, Max Pavish, Joe Nemechek, and Bill Elliott. And can Michael McDowell join that group? So far, so good.
He's got a good shot. He was the 6th out of the go-homers yesterday, and Michael's been known to be a good qualifier. Has made a lot of the races that he's attempted to make.
Yeah, and I believe he's going to make this one.
Well, Casey Mears is sweating this out right now as he comes down the front straightaway, comes across the yard of bricks, and McDowell is safely into the show.
You're in, buddy. You're in, man. 50-46. Great job. Great job, Zach. Everybody, super job.
You heard the team give him the good news. The bad news is Casey Mears joins David Stremme on the hauler.
Trying to figure out what to do with J.J. Yaley's car here. Try to get out here and make an attempt. There's 2 more cars to go. Yaley and Todd Bodine.
While all this is going on, let's check in with Dave Burns.
With former Brickyard winner Bobby Labonte, who had a guaranteed spot, but you didn't need it.
Yeah, but I wish we could have run better. And we unloaded off the truck. We were really loose to start with, and felt really uncomfortable getting in the corners and loose on exit. So Nick and the guys are working real hard at it. And I just want to thank James Finch and Phoenix Construction for letting me drive their car. And hopefully this next 2 hours or 4 hours of practice, actually 2 hours of practice that we get a few hours from now, we can get it better. We just haven't had the speed that we like to have. And sure, it's great to be in the race, but man, we sure want to go faster. So hopefully we can get that here shortly.
Did you have it in qualifying trim the entire first day of practice, or did you run some race trim?
We did run some race trim the first hour, and then we made qualifying runs the second hour. And I just wish that we could have gone faster. I mean, this is a great track. I love coming here, and just really can't get comfortable getting in. It's a different setup than what I'm used to, and just trying to get used to it. But hopefully by race time tomorrow, we'll have a lot better game plan for what we need to have.
It's good to have the champ in the field, guys.
And as you finish up, we were watching Todd Bodine, who finished 7th in last night's Camping World Truck Series race over at O'Reilly Raceway Park. And right now he is so close to going into the red. Now he's coming back into the green. On the upper right, you got J.J. Yeley, and these guys are going to be really tired. That's a long sprint all the way back down to the end of pit road. Keep an eye now on the clock. It is going to be tight for Todd Bodine. Is he going to make it in? Because right now, Gilliland is the guy who's on the spot, and Bodine is in. Gilliland is out, and that means it's now down to either Villeneuve or the man that still has to get out there and try it one more time, J.J. Yeley.
Villeneuve's got to be sweating a little bit, but I feel pretty good about it because Yeley has got that engine hot. He's got some issues, and he was not fast in practice, but it's never safe until everybody's run.
I saw Barry Green with Jacques yesterday, and he's actually helping him out. And they were talking about how difficult this really is. They said if anybody thinks it's easy trying to make these fields when you just put a team together, he says, think again.
Well, then you look at it really says a lot about this sport and where NASCAR is today when you've got a guy that's a world champion and former Indy 500 winner, and he looked pretty nervous standing there watching JJ pull out on the racetrack. How much it would mean to him to make this race.
All right, you see him trying to get the tires getting hot because he's got to come around and go right to the flag. And everybody in this camp that is a J.J. Yeley fan will be sweating bullets for about the next 50 seconds.
Yeah, and it sounded like he said that his car cut off a minute ago, and that's what happened as he went through 4. So I'm sure they probably had to switch their ignition box and things that they didn't really want to do.
Jacques looking on, 50.71 seconds, the time to beat. And Jacques, I wonder if he feels the same way he did when he was qualifying for the Indianapolis 500. Whoa, look out! And he tags the wall. So the question has been answered. Unfortunately for J.J. Yeley, the race is over. And
don't worry about it.
You can see Villeneuve taking a deep breath. Let's go back and take another look.
Well, you got to do what you got to do to try to make the race, and then he was driving the car to the point where he thought he had to go.
Yeah, this is literally a recipe for disaster when you get yourself in that situation. They're already in a tough situation, and then compounded that with problems.
Let's send it down to Jerry Punch.
Last time he was here, he won the Indianapolis 502 in 1995. Hey, welcome back to Indianapolis. Now in a stock car. You're in the Brickyard 400.
Well, it's very exciting. It was very stressful because we didn't get a lot of laps. It's the first time the team comes here. It's a new car, and I haven't been in a Cup car for over 2 years, so we're a little bit stressed, but it turned out fine.
Celebrating in Canada, Marty, Jacques Villeneuve in the race.
J.J. Yeley, Stremme, Mears, and Gilliland, the 4 that will not make the field. And boy, our race is going to be some. And it is going to be on the Brickyard 400 presented by Golden Corral tomorrow, 1 Eastern on ESPN.
Coppertone Sport outshines. It protects you from the most damaging rays across 100% of the UVA-UVB spectrum, and the protection stays on better because it's ultra sweat-proof. Coppertone Sport outshines, so you can enjoy the sun.
The Ram 60-day handshake. That 5-finger bond that communicates trust, honor, follow through, and follow up. It's a promise that says go ahead, and buy a Ram 1500 or heavy duty without a payment for 60 days. And if it doesn't do everything you ask it to do, bring it back. Ram.
The Craftsman cordless multi-tool. Remodel, regrout, restore, all repowered. Meet the hand tool, rethought. The power and versatility of 6 tools packed into one. More innovation, more great values. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free.
Log on to myschoolnow.com. That's myschoolnow.com.
So you're originally from Minnesota, right?
Yep, born and raised.
Big time deal, Minnesota. That Fargo is a crazy movie, wasn't it?
That was North Dakota.
You're right. You're right. Minnesota, you got the Yoopers.
No, that would be Michigan. Upper Peninsula, UP, Yooper.
Oh, yeah. You ever meet Prince?
No.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Well, the field is set for the 17th running of the Brickyard 400. Our race will be at 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on ESPN with countdown beginning at 12 noon. And, of course, the big news, Juan Pablo Montoya, the first step in the process of completing the trifecta, Jamie Little, is complete.
And I'm in the middle of 2 very happy gentlemen right now after dominating last year, leading 116 laps. Then the heartbreak because this man was speeding on pit road. You come back and get the pole. What does this mean for you and your entire team?
I think it's pretty exciting. I think the Target team has done such a good job. You know, our cars are come a long way. And you know, last year we had a really fast car here, and you know, it seems the same way this year. You know, we still got to run the race, but it's exciting when you go to a place, and especially like Indy, and you have a shot at winning and being this competitive.
You were talking about your qualifying lap that you actually made a pretty big mistake, and you were surprised. What happened?
Well, it wasn't a huge mistake. It just got a little bit tight out of 2, and it's funny because you look at the truck, everybody out of 2 was like staying with me, and then in 3 and 4 it was a little stronger. So it was good. It was a good lap. It was a little bit more in there.
Congratulations. It's a different car, but seems to be just as good. We'll talk to his team owner, Chip Ganassi. It's been your year so far, Chip. You just won your 3rd Indy 500 with Dario Franchitti a month and a half ago. What is this like for you to come back with this guy who you won the Indy 500 with from the pole in 2000?
You know, he likes this place, and that's always fun, you know. And, you know, our team's had a good run of things here, and, you know, we still have a long way to go, Jamie. You know, we have a race tomorrow to run. You know, we have lots of goals in mind for the team this season. And, you know, this is just one more step today, having the pole. We're pretty happy, though.
Brian Petty, crew chief, told me this definitely was a major goal today to get the pole, Chip. But let's talk about what everybody's talking about. You won the Daytona 500. You win the Indy 500. How much are you thinking about this Triple Crown?
Not much, to tell you the truth.
Come on, you're lying.
It would be nice. It would be nice, but that's something, you know, for the media to talk about and our sponsors and everything. You know, I have a job to do, and that job is let's focus on what's important, and that's tomorrow right now. And then, you know, we'll talk about that afterward if it's worth talking about.
All right, celebrate the pole while you got it, and we'll watch them in the race as they lead the field to green. Marty?
Trust me, he knows this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that may never be repeated in our lifetime. You want to talk about great moments for his team? Well, there is Juan Montoya's win back in the 2000 Indianapolis 500. And didn't think the crew guys were going to let him up for air. And he will lead the field when we go racing tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time. All right, let's go through this. Who stands out for you guys?
Well, the Chevys stand out to me, man. They had a strong running qualifying. Only Greg Biffle able to break up the party.
9 out of 10 Chevrolets and no Toyotas or Dodges in sight. The best Dodge, Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, Brad had a great run early on there, so a big benefit to him jumping back and forth between the 2 racetracks.
Great run for Landon Castle. He'll start in the 20th position as we move further on down through the field. Who stands out there? Probably Kyle Busch, starting further back than we might have expected.
Yeah, it seemed like those guys got the whole Gibbs team drew late numbers. I think Kyle's car is good. Alongside of him, you've got Casey Kane, too. And Casey has been, in position to win this race a couple times, so we could see some surprise there.
And on down through the field.
Yeah, you see the guys that are really glad to be in the field. Todd Bodine, Dave Blaney, Travis Quappel, and good lap for Michael McDowell.
Yeah, Max Pappas, another one that we saw there, and Jacques Villeneuve has his opportunity there, along with Montoya and Sam Hornish in this race to become the only guys to win the Indy 500 and the Brickyard 400.
And as I mentioned, Gilliland, Mears, Stremme, and Yaley, the 4 cars that will not make this field. So as we come back into our pit studio here, this is a huge opportunity for Ganassi Racing. He's downplaying it, but I'm telling you, I mean, we've talked about this. To win all these races, Daytona, the Indy 500, now potentially here, wow.
Yeah, it's hard to enjoy things while you're doing it. You know how we've done that through our career. You're really focused, but this is some time that he'll look back on and he'll say, this was really special.
Yeah, and as we talk about Chip and his opportunity, I want to go back to Montoya with that opportunity. I mean, how many guys we talk about, there's 3 here, but really Montoya has the best opportunity to become the first person to win the Indy 500 and Brickyard 400.
And guys, I know he's got a great opportunity with Montoya, but let's not forget about Jamie McMurray. I've just got a good feeling, the confidence that's there, the crew chief he has, the team. I think he may be the shot.
Well, especially when you realize the pole sitters only won twice out of the 16 prior races, so maybe Jamie McMurray is the guy to watch out of that team. But boy, I'll tell you what, a lot of powerful Chevrolets. They could be looking at another win. They've won it here quite a few times already. As we get ready to go look at the view from high above, the racing is going to start over at the O'Reilly Raceway Park. They'll have the Nationwide Series tonight at 7:30 Eastern, and then the Brickyard 400 presented by Golden Corral Sunday at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Our coverage starts at noon Eastern with Countdown. As we take this quick flight over to Raceway Park, it's time for the Nationwide boys' final practice. Vince Wells.